Ready? All right, good. So I don't mix that up again. Cancel. Thing is, there we go. The rotation is off. There we go. All right. Okay. I don't know what happened. This more rotated on y'all. So I'll go ahead and just get started where we at. All right. Well, I got YouTube live going on. For some reason, it rotated on me. All right. Let's see. Let's see here. All right. Back in progress. All right, YouTube, you rotated on me for some odd reason, and couldn't have you sitting up looking at me sideways. So other than that, greetings, 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 family, friends, and the world. This is Mikael Eric Harris, better known as the Juice, also known as the Alkaline Water Guy. How is everyone doing this beautiful night after Sunday, which is the second night of the week? It's just after 9 p.m. This is the night after the first day of the week and the night before the second day of the week, which we call Sunday and Monday, which is or was September 7th, 2021. This was set 25. September 7th, 2025. And this is Fight Fire with Truth, which is open conversation. Fight Fire with Truth, which is open conversation, where we're at tonight. And we getting ready to get started. First, we're going to start off with our prayer. Then, whatever the Creator brings for us to speak on, we'll go on that. But other than that, let's start off with our prayer and we'll go from there. Blessed be thou, Father of the universe, that bring forth all living creatures forth from the earth. Blessed be thou, Father of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Blessed be the Father of Israel. Blessed be the Father to our tribe of Israel. Thank you, Father, for all you've done, been doing, and plan to do. We ask you to keep giving us wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, life, health, and strength, food, shelter, and clothing. Let us be happy, healthy, wealthy, wise, and prosperous in all that we do. We ask you to keep leading and guiding us so we can keep leading and guiding others in your knowledge, your word, your ruach, which is your spirit and your way. We ask you to keep your armor of protection around us at all times and keep us in your way at all times as well. We ask you to forgive us of any sins that we have done in time past, today's time, and time to come we may not know about or may not be aware of. We ask you to lift the spirit of deep sleep off of us that we can awaken to your glorious light and your holy way. We ask you to forgive us, our ancestors, and our forefathers for all the things we have done time and time and time again, and ask you to help us in every way, whether it is physical, mental, emotional, financial, or spiritual. In all these things we pray. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Praise Almighty Yah. Praise you, Almighty Yah. All right, what's going on? What's going on, family, friends, and the world? This is Mikael Eric Harris, better known as the Juice, also known as the Alkaline Water Guy. All right, and this is another beautiful Sunday night, which we call night after Sunday, should I say, night after Sunday, which is really Monday night, night before Monday, or the second night of the week. And we're just here to come in with whatever conversation there is to be had or that we need to speak on. All right. Something was on my mind yesterday. Well, not yesterday, after we got off yesterday, um, which we were going through the book, or since we just conversating. We on the Sabbath, we're going through the book. We started with the first Samuel. We're in First Samuel now. We're in chapter 20. 4 starting this week coming up, starting this Sabbath coming up. Yesterday we did 20, 21, we did 21, 22, and 23 yesterday. And there was some information going on in there that hit my mind today, last night or today. And I remember in chapter 1, chapter 2, and after um or when what happened when uh the sons of Eli passed. When the sons of Eli passed, it was something that happened, but it was something that was said before that time. And I really was gonna go over it on the Sabbath, which I still am, but it's the only thing I can think of right now to bring up because the Creator's word will always be when the Creator says something gonna happen. Excuse me. When the Creator says something, when the Creator, the Almighty, says something gonna happen, y'all best believe it's gonna happen according to his word. Many people forget about his word, but the creator don't forget. Why? Because he's seen everything in the beginning, as I always share with everyone. He's seen everything from the beginning. Now, let's go ahead and get into it real quick. And until somebody come in, I guess I'll start off where I'm at, right? Till somebody come in. I'm gonna go over a little bit what I shared yesterday. Now I'm coming back to Samuel chapter 2 and 3. But I want to go back into where I was yesterday about the priest right here. We started at 21. Let me see, let me make sure 21, 22, and 23 we did yesterday. Yeah. 21, 22, and 23, right here. 21, we started at. Then came David to Nob, N-O-B, Nob to Ahimelech, the priest. And Ahimelech was afraid at the meeting of David and said unto excuse me, and said unto him, why art thou alone, and no man with thee? And David said unto Ahimelech, the priest, the king hath commanded me, see, he really lied, but the king hath commanded me a business and have said unto me, let no man know anything of the business whereabout I send thee, and what I have commanded thee. And I have appointed my servants to such and such a place. Told him to go the way we want him to go. Now, therefore, what is under thine hand? Give me 5 loaves of bread in my hand, or what there is present, right? And the priest answered David and said, there is no, but the whole point is this point, I'm sharing this point right here is this. When David came here, this is a prophecy that was spoken of that I wanted to go back into and check out. So I read about it today. I went back into it today. And I went to Samuel, I think it was in Samuel chapter 2. Yep. Samuel chapter 2 and chapter 3. Right here. The sins of Eli's sons. They're starting at verse 12. Now the sons of Eli were sons of Belial, right? It was evil. They knew not Yah. And the priest's custom, they knew not Yah. And the priest's custom with the people was that when any man offered sacrifice, the priest servants came while the flesh was in seething, with a flesh hook in 3 teeth, 3 teeth flesh hook, mainly while they was boiling, seething. But they wanted it raw, right? So, but break it all the way down. Let's go down here to verse 22. I'm trying to get to the main points of what I was sharing yesterday about Amalek and then the killing of Saul. Saul killed all the priests, not all the priests, but 85 of them of the house of Eli. There was Eli's house. Excuse me. I'm going ahead of myself right now, but I'm just sharing this just so you may know. But right here it says, verse 22. Now Eli was very old and heard all that his sons did unto all Israel. This is a curse of, I call this the curse of Eli. Mm. I call this the curse of Eli, right? Now Eli was very old and heard all that his sons did unto all Israel, and how they lay with the women that assembled at the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. Starting at verse 12, it's talking about Eli's sons. In chapter 2, in First Samuel chapter 2, verse 12, all the way down to 17. All the way down to 17, right? But Samuel ministered, okay. And then in 22, from 12 to 17, it was speaking of Eli's sons. And then verse 22 through 23, from what I remember reading, but let me go ahead and read it down here so y'all can see where we at. I call this the curse of Eli. The curse of Eli, right? Now Eli was very old and heard all that his sons did unto all Israel, and how they lay with the women that assembled at the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. 23. And he said unto them, why do ye such things? For I hear of your evil dealings by all this people. Nay, my sons, for it is no good report that I hear. Ye make the Lord's people to transgress. Right? He's telling them, but they weren't listening, they weren't paying no attention. And then it's 25. If one man sin against another, the judge shall judge him. But if a man sin against Yah, who shall entreat for him? Notwithstanding, they hearken not unto the voice of their father, because Yah would slay them. Oh, let me make sure I get this. They wouldn't listen. Uh-huh. That means if you all that sin they've been doing, if they caught her trying to turn, he'd have killed them. So they got away with everything until. But he talking in the part when he said, if one man sin against another, the judge shall judge him. But if a man sin against Yah, who shall entreat for him? You can't entreat for nobody when it comes to the Creator, right? So this is something that people don't realize, or maybe some people may have checked it out or have done research. I haven't been in here in so long. I'm revamping. It's been over 20 years or longer since I've been studying the way I'm studying right now. But all this I knew in time past, but it's just a refreshing going on right now. So, verse 26, and the child Samuel grew on and was in favor both with Yah and also with men. That was Samuel. Verse 27, now, check it out. This is the curse of Eli. I call this the curse of Eli. Verse 2, chapter 2, verse 27 through 36. It says, and there came a man of Yah unto Eli, and said unto him, thus saith Yah. I got to remember that. When a prophet come and speak in my name, I will require it of the person that's hearing from that prophet. And there came a man of Yah unto Eli, and said unto him, thus saith Yah, did I plainly appear unto the house of thy father, which said, when they were in Egypt, in Pharaoh's house, and did I choose him out of all the tribes of Israel to be my priest? That's Levi. Levi is to be the priest. To offer upon my altar to burn incense, to wear an ephod before me, for me. And did I give unto the house of thy father all the offerings made by fire? He gave y'all all the offerings made by fire of the children of Israel. He gave that to them. Wherefore kick ye at my sacrifice, and at mine offering which I have commanded in my habitation. And honors thy sons above me. You honor your sons above me, the creator. You don't honor your children. You don't honor your sons above me. To make yourselves fat with the chiefest of all the offerings of Israel, my people, and honors thy sons above me, to make yourselves fat with the chiefest of all the offerings of Israel, my people. 30. Wherefore Yah, Father of Israel, saith, I said indeed that thy house and thine house of thy fathers shall walk before me forever. That's Eli. Eli, which is Levi. Levi, he's Eli. But now Yah said, be it far from me, for them that honor me will I honor. See, that's what he's saying now. At this point, he made that pledge to him. For them that honor me I will honor, and they that despise me shall be lightly esteemed. For y'all that despise the Creator. But them that honor me I will honor. He said himself out of his mouth. And they that despise me shall be lightly esteemed. That's the key. That's 30. That's 30. 31. Behold, the days come that I will cut off thine arm and the arm of thy father's house. Y'all see that? The days come, he said. The days come. Behold, the days come that I will cut off thine arm and the arm of thy father's house, that there shall be not an old man in thine house, an old man in your house. There we go. Hey, Sister Julia, how you doing, my sister? Glad, well, she was there for a minute. She came in and came out. She was there for a moment. She might come back in, who knows? She's in with me on Zoom for a quick second. Behold, the days come that say, I will cut off thine arm and the arm of thy father's house, that there shall not be an old man in thine house. Right? And thou shalt see an enemy, and thou shalt see an enemy in my habitation, in all the wealth which Yah shall give Israel, and there shall not be an old man in thine house forever. So now he's saying there's not going to be an old man in your house. But let's go over this again. Behold, the days come that I will cut off thine arm and the arm of thy father's house, that there shall not be an old man in thine house. There shall not be an old man in your house. And thou shalt see an enemy in my habitation, and thou shalt see an enemy in my habitation, in all the wealth which Yah shall give Israel. All right. And there shall not be an old man in thine house forever. All right. That was something that came to my mind. Well, I'm getting these, I've been taking this antibiotic. I've been taking this antibiotic for my, hey, Julia, glad you can make it.
Hi, Brother Mike.
How you doing, sis? You all right?
Yeah, by the grace of God, I'm holding on.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. I'm glad you can make it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, yesterday I was going over First Samuel. You know, I've been going through Samuel through the book of Samuel, and
Okay.
yesterday we made it to chapter 21, 22, and 23.
Wonderful. The first book of Samuel?
Yes, that's what we're going through. Each Sabbath we're going through the book of Samuel.
Okay then. Thank you. Okay.
At 12 o'clock. But what happened, since we had an open conversation, what happened yesterday, Daniel was fleeing, and yesterday we called it David flees from Saul. Man, I got these I've been itching since I've been taking this well, not itching a whole lot, but been feeling it on me since I've been taking my antibiotics for my
Oh
baby.
yes. How is the hand? How is the finger, Brother Mike?
No, it's going pretty good. Got a little
Okay.
splint in it, but it's going pretty good. I gotta see him again Tuesday, and then on the 19th, gotta go to a rehab Tuesday. They're gonna check it out, and we'll
Okay.
see what happens on the 19th. But what ended up happening yesterday, I was reading, and I was reading where in chapter 21, where David was running from Saul, and he went to go see these priests. And when he went to go see the priests, it was a certain Edomite there that overheard him, and this is in verse 7. This is a key verse. In 21 and 7, 1 Samuel 21 and 7, it said, now a certain man of the servants of Saul was there that day, detained. You see, it say detained before Yah. He was detained. He was there for a reason. He was detained for a reason. Detained before Yah, and his name was Doeg. Doeg. Dog, whatever, and Edomite, the chiefest of the herdsmen that belonged to Saul. He's the chiefest of them, right? But what ended up happening when David went when in verse 1 through 3, David was talking to, really he lied to the priest because he had to go get some bread because he was out there with nothing. He had no food, he didn't have no weapons, he didn't have nothing because Saul was trying to kill him. And him and Samuel made a pact the week before. We said David and Jonathan makes a covenant. You know, they made a covenant together. That was the week before. But the following week, which was yesterday, David flees from Saul, mainly saying that when David and Jonathan made a pact, they made a covenant or a promise together. How much they loved each other as brothers. So they made a pact together, and Jonathan told David. Well, David told Jonathan, "Tell your father, he's asking him to leave because he don't want to be at the table because he's seen that Saul was trying to kill him because Saul was jealous. David did nothing for to make Saul jealous, but kill Goliath. When he killed Goliath, the women of the city said Saul killed his 1,000 and David his 10,000. So that's when Saul got jealous of David from that point on. And by being jealous of David, he was trying to kill him on the sly. And then he made him the captain of the guards. So captain of a war, sent him out there to war, and he kept winning the war battles. So what ended up happening is now the new moon came, which actually shows that it's a new month. He said the new moon, David's supposed to sit at the table because he's one of the head. You got Saul had his head his head over the army, his head captain, and then he had David being the head of a certain part of his army, of his fleet. So David didn't show up because David and Jonathan said that just tell your father that I had to go to my father's house, to Jesse, because they have a huge sacrifice, and his brothers and them told him he had to be there. So he didn't show up the first day, which was the day after the day after the night of the new moon. That was the first day. So Saul said he must have been unclean. That's the reason why he must have come. The next day, day two came, and he was mad at Jonathan because Jonathan told him he can go. Jonathan told him, he said, David bade me that he can go to his people house because they have a sacrifice they do yearly, and he asked me to go, so I let him go. And Saul got mad at Jonathan, and let me tell you what Saul said. This is the reason why Saul was mad, even though the Creator had already stripped the kingdom from him. But this is the reason why he was mad. One is he was mad because he's seen that David is rising up the ranks, and people see him as being important. David didn't even know; he was just glad to be among them. But right here, 1 Samuel chapter 20, verse 31 states this. And he told this to Samuel. He told Saul told this to Jonathan. This is what he said. I got certain clues written out so we can see certain things at certain time. It says, "For as long," Saul said this to us to Jonathan. "For as long as the son of Jesse lives upon the ground, thou shalt not be established, nor thy kingdom." Meaning, Jonathan won't be established, nor your kingdom. "Wherefore now send and fetch him unto me, for he shall surely die." This is what Saul said to Jonathan. And the reason why he told him that is because he see that David is the one that's coming up. And he see it. But Jonathan loved David as a friend. So Jonathan, to me, Jonathan wasn't thinking of it. But Jonathan knew when he told him that, he said, what he said is, "For as long as the son of Jesse liveth upon the ground, thou shalt not be established, nor thy kingdom." Remember, David's kingdom is still established today because the word of Yah. His Saul's kingdom is not established because his seed is not living to be established as the king of the kingdom. David took on the kingship, and every seed after David is still living today. A lot of people looking at Jesus, but it's not about Yeshua, Jesus, whoever. It's the seed of David. And the seed of David came through from David to Solomon, from Solomon to Rehoboam, and all the kings from there. But people forget about the children beyond Rehoboam. The 1,000 wives, which is 700 wives and 300 concubines that Solomon had. So all of them is still David's seed. A lot of people don't realize that. So by the people not realizing this, everybody has been brainwashed to think that Jesus is the Savior, he's the King. What about all the other people that came and the people that's still here today that has the blood of David? And that's what people don't realize. So what I'm doing is I'm going through the book to show facts and figures of everything that's happening and the reason behind it. So in this point of view that I was sharing is that right over here when David flees to Nob in chapter 21, that was chapter 20, verse 31. The reason why Saul wanted to get rid of David, that was his reason. Because he know that Jonathan is supposed to come up after him and to carry his seed on for the establishment of the kingdom. But the kingdom is really established under the word of Yah under David. And it's still established under David today. People don't realize it because they're not looking in the book to get an understanding. They're going by what they've been told by the Roman government. That's what they're going by. But again, over here in chapter 21, 1 Samuel chapter 21, it says, "Then came David to Nob, N-O-B, to Ahimelech, the priest. And Ahimelech was afraid at the meeting of David, and said unto David," which is him, "Why art thou alone, and no man with thee?" And David said to Ahimelech, the priest, "The king hath commanded me a business, and has said unto me, Let no man know anything of the business whereabout I send thee, and what I have commanded thee. And I have appointed my servants to such and such a place." So what he said is, David really lied, but he's making a story like Saul told me to do this and go where I'm going. Now, verse 3. "Now, therefore, what is under thine hand?" This is what David said to him. Give me 5 loaves of bread in my hand, or what there is present, what you ever got, whatever you got, give me 5 loaves of whatever you got present." Verse 4. "And the priest answered David and said, There is no common bread under mine hand." Now, this is what I was thinking at first. There is no common bread under my hand, but there is hallowed bread. And the hallowed bread is for the priest and the priest only. It's not for common people or regular people. That's for the priests, called the priests of Yah. It says, "If the young men have kept themselves at least from women." So what he said is hallowed bread if the young men have kept themselves from at least from women. And David answered the priest and said unto him, "Of a truth, women have been kept from us about these 3 days." Now it's the 3rd day. Remember, the first day, Saul was waiting on him, and he didn't show up. The second day, this is when Saul got mad at Jonathan because Jonathan let him go away. This is the third day, right here. This is how you keep up with everything. So about these 3 days, since I came out and the vessels of the young men are holy, and the bread is in a manner and the bread is in a manner common. So he's just saying in manner the bread is still common. That what David said to him. Yea, though it were sanctified this day in the vessel. So the priest gave him hallowed bread, for there was no bread there but the showbread that was taken from before Yah to put hot bread in the day when it was taken away. So they had to put hot bread in place of the showbread. Now, verse 7, it says, Now a certain man of the servants of Saul was there that day, detained before Yah. See, he was detained before Yah. He was detained. And his name was Doeg, Doeg, an Edomite, the chief of the herdmen that belonged to Saul. So he's the chief of the herdmen. So here is when David got bread from him, but David started his run from Saul at this time. Now, from this point, it talks about mainly where I'm going here is because we get to Saul kills the priest of Nob. This is the reason why I'm coming here. I'm coming here. Right here. It says, I'm calling this tonight so far because I plan on doing this probably tomorrow night, but if I get through it tonight, tomorrow will be something else. But Saul kills the priest of Nob. Now, verse 6, right here, 22 and 6. 1 Samuel 22 and 6. This is where we at. When Saul heard that David was discovered and the men that were with him, now Saul abode in Gibeah or Gibeah, under a tree in Ramah, having a spear in his hand, and all his servants were standing about him. Then Saul said unto his servants that stood about him, Hear now, ye Benjamites, will the son of Jesse give every one of you fields and vineyards, and make you all captains of thousands and captains of hundreds, that all of you have conspired against me, and there is none that showeth that my son have made a league with the son of Jesse. You saying I'm talking about Jonathan and David. And there is none of you that is sorry for me, or show up unto me that my son has stirred up my servant against me to lie in wait at say as at this day. Then answered Doeg, check it out. This is the Edomite right here. Then answered Doeg, the Edomite, which was set over the servants of Saul, and said, I saw the son of Jesse come to Nob, to Amelish, the son of Athub, the son of Athub. 10. And he inquired of Yah for him, and gave him victuals, and gave him the sword of Goliath the Philistine. Hold on, it was something I gotta do. I gotta make sure I get Athub here, because there's a reason why I need to get that. Okay, I don't know why I'm holding you. Right, I need to underline that name right there, Athub. Athub or Athub, Hittub, a Hittub, a Hittub, Ahitub, whatever that name is. The son of Athub. Verse 10. 1 Samuel 22:10 states, And he inquired of Yah for him, and gave him victuals, and gave him the sword of Goliath the Philistine. Right? So this is what the Edomite said. Gave him victuals. Then the king sent to call Ahimelech the priest, the son of Athub, the son of Athub, and his father's house. the priests that were at Nob, and they came all of them to the king. They all came to the king. But check this out. Check this out. Verse 12. And Saul said, Hear now, thou son of Athub. And he answered and said, Here I am, my Lord. And Saul said unto him, Why have thou conspired against me, thou and thy son, thou and the son of Jesse, in that thou hast given him bread and a sword, and hast inquired of Yah for him, that he should rise against me to lie in wait as at this day? Then Amalek answered the king. Check it out, he's innocent. He said, and Amalek answered the king and said, And who is so faithful among all thy servants as David? Who is so faithful among all your servants as David? Which is the king's son-in-law, and goeth at thy bidding, and is honorable in all thine house. Did I then begin to inquire of Yah for him? So he knew that who he was, so that's when he inquired for Yah for him. Be it far from me, let not the king impute anything unto his servant, nor to all the house of my father. For thy servant knew nothing of all this, less or more. So the priest said, I didn't know nothing. He came, and all I know is that he did your work, so I inquired of the Creator for him. That's all I did. And guess what Saul said? And the king said, Thou shalt surely die, Ahimelech, thou and all thy father's house. And the king said unto the footmen that stood about him, Turn and slay the priests of the Lord. You see that? He said, Turn and slay the priests of Yah. That man going crazy. Because their hand also is with David, and because they knew when he fled, and did not show it to me. But the servants of the king would not put forth their hands to fall upon the priests of Yah. See, the servants wouldn't do it, because they know that that's the creator's vessel. I ain't messing with them. Saul went crazy. But verse 18 tell you what? This shows you about these people today. You know what I'm talking about, Julian. These people of today, these people of the system. There's the Edomite. This is Edom. Check it out. He didn't say that. He said, verse 18, and the king said to Doeg, D-O-E-G, which is the Edomite, Turn thou and fall upon the priest. And Doeg the Edomite turned, and he fell upon the priest and slew on that day 85 persons, 85 people that did wear the linen ephod. 85 people that wore the linen ephod. And Nob the city of the priests smote he with the edge of the sword, both men and women, children and suckling, and oxen and asses and sheep with the edge of the sword. And he killed everything. You see how the Caucasian do? He just told him to put forth his hand upon the priest. He told him to kill the priest. He just told him to kill the priest. He went and killed everything. And Nob, the city of the priests, smote he with the edge of the sword, both men and women, children. See that? Suckling, that's babies. This is the Edomite we deal with today. This is the Edomite that we deal with since the last 400 years plus. And oxen and asses. This is what Saul was supposed to do before. And sheep with the edge of the sword. And he didn't tell him to do all that. He told him to just go kill the priest. And one of the sons of Ahimelech, the son of Athub, named Abiathar, escaped and fled after David. And Abiathar showed David that Saul had slain the Lord's priest, Yah's priest. And David said unto Abiathar, I knew it that day when Doeg the Edomite was there, that he would surely tell Saul. See that? David said, I knew that. I have occasioned the death of all the persons of thy father's house. But say, abide thou with me, fear not, for he that seeketh my life seeketh thy life. But with me thou shalt be in safeguard. Right? And then we went ahead and read that. But I went back to this because of the curse of Eli. This, I thought about it this morning or yesterday after I laid down. I woke back up and it kind of crossed my mind about the beginning of Samuel and the curse. Let me get to that real quick and see where we at. Now, Samuel warns Eli. But before Samuel warned Eli, the curse of Samuel, the curse of Eli, the curse of Eli. And I think I just shared it, but I'm going to go over it again, starting at verse 22. Samuel chapter 2, verse 22 states, Now Eli was very old and heard all that his sons did unto all Israel. And you'll find that, the start of that at verse 12 through 17. 12 to 17 is the curse, or should I say, is when he knew about what his sons was doing. But verse 22 through 24 through 23, he heard about it and then he approached, he told his son what they weren't supposed to do. So I read it one more time, verse 22. Now Eli was very old and heard all that his sons did unto all Israel, and how they lay with the women that assemble at the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. And he said unto them, Why do ye such things? For I hear of your evil dealings by all this people. Nay, my sons, for it is no good report that I hear ye, that I hear. Ye make the Lord's people to transgress. 25. If one man sin against another, the judge shall judge him. But if a man sin against the Lord, sin against Yah, who shall entreat for him? Notwithstanding, they hearken not unto the voice of their father, because Yah would slay them. He would slay them for the stuff that they was doing. That's why. So then it said, and the child grew, the child Samuel grew on and was in favor both with Yah and with men. Verse 27. And there came a man. Now here come a prophet. Here come a prophet. And there came a man of Yah unto Eli and said unto him, Thus saith Yah, did I plainly appear unto the house of thy father when they were in Egypt in Pharaoh's house? And verse 28, and did I choose him out of all tribes of Israel to be my priest, to offer upon thine altar, to burn incense, to wear an ephod before me? And did I give unto the house of thy father all the offerings made by fire of the children of Israel? And I made an example of that yesterday, saying you got one church. Just say if you had a neighborhood, you got one church. You had 10 blocks with 20 houses on each block going all the way around, 5 on each side of the block. Everybody in each house would take that to the church. The church being the temple that everybody bring their tenth to. When they bring their tenth to that church, the church will have a storehouse to store everything. And when people get sick, when they get hurt, when stuff happens, this is they was the government, because they would take care of the elders, the elderly, the the fatherless, the widows. That's who the church would take care of, because men did the work. These women didn't have the men to do the work for them. Some of them wasn't even. My wife told me about this woman that never worked. Her husband took care of everything until he passed. She didn't know how to work. They caught her sleeping in the call because, you know. And I guess that's what men used to do. They spoil their wives. The wives used to help them. Whatever the men needed, the woman would help them do, but the men would take care of everything. So that was just the point of view I was getting at that point. So it says, of Israel, verse 29. Wherefore kick ye at my sacrifice and at mine offering, which I have commanded in my habitation, and honors thy sons above me? You're going to honor your sons above me to make yourselves fat with the chiefest of all the offerings of Israel, my people? 30. Wherefore Yah of Israel, of, excuse me, excuse me. Wherefore Yah, the Father of Israel, said, I said, I said indeed that thy house and the house of thy father shall walk before me forever. But now Yah said, be it far from me, for them that honor me I will honor, and they that despise me shall be lightly esteemed. So what he's saying is the priests that honor him, that's who he's going to honor. It's not about just because you're a Levite. It's because you that honor me, I'm going to honor. And then do what you, and they that despise me, they should be lightly esteemed. Right? Got to find out what that lightly esteemed means. Lightly esteemed. But the whole point is looking into it to find out. Because when the Father said, that's why he said, now he's showing a difference. He's not just saying this for everybody. No, it's for those who honor me. For those who do honor, this is like a remnant. If you look at it in that sense, it's like you separate. It's still separating the two. You're still doing what you're doing, but it's for those who deserve it. That's what we're getting at. Okay, should be like this thing. Verse 9. Behold, the days come. Here you go. Behold, the days come. Prophecy. I will cut off thine arm and the arm of thy father's house, that there should not be an old man in thine house. Now, this is what I'm getting. This is what came to my mind about Abiathar, Abihu, whatever. I got to go back to see it in 22, I believe that was in chapter 22. Thou shalt not be an old man be in thine house. 32. And thou shalt see an enemy, and thou shalt see an enemy in my habitation, in all the wealth which Yah shall give Israel. You're gonna see an enemy in my habitation. You're gonna be an enemy in my habitation, where he lived. I believe this is Saul. I believe this is Saul. But he's telling them this before Saul was even the king. And there shall not be an old man in thine house forever. So he's saying it's going to be an enemy in my camp, and you ain't going to have no old man in your house forever. And the man of thine whom I shall not cut off from mine altar shall be to consume thine eyes. They shall be to consume thine eyes and to grieve thine heart, and all the increase of thine house shall die in the flower. See that? And all the increase of thine house shall die in the flower of their age. They're going to be in their young age. They're going to die when they're young. They're not going to be old. Like it says, shall not be an old man in thine house forever. Then it says, that's in the end of 32, at the end of 33. It says, and all the increase of thine house shall die in the flower of their age. All the increase of thy house. That means all you young men that you bear, that comes about in your house, going to die in the flower of their age. 34. And this shall be a sign unto thee that thou shalt come upon thy two sons. That shall come upon thy, and this shall be a sign. That's 34. And this shall be a sign unto thee that shall come upon thy two sons, Hophni and uh fine, I say fine has, which come to whatever his name is. Joanne know his name good. And this shall be a sign unto thee that shall come upon thy two sons, on Hop Hophni and I say Phinehas. Phineas. I guess it's Phineas. I think that's what it is. Phineas. I say Phinehas, but Phineas. In one day they shall both of them. In one day they shall die, both of them. That would say that's going to be the sign. What happened over here? Okay, which color went out on me? Mm. Facebook went out on me, y'all. Not Facebook. I don't know why I keep saying Facebook. YouTube Live, I get this is part two for you. You just went out while I was talking. I didn't even know when you went out. But I was reading, going over, and I'm calling this the curse of Eli. I'm calling this the curse of Eli tonight. Since no one is here to really have a conversation with. My sister Julia is in. I'm glad that she's here. But um I was going over part what was that? Part that wasn't even a part. I was going over when the Edomite or killed by the word of Saul all the priests. And the reason why he killed the priest, not why he killed the priest, it was said, prophesied. The father prophesied before Saul even became king what was going to happen because of the two sons of Eli. So I'm calling this the curse of Eli. That's why I'm calling this the curse of Eli. Calling this the curse of Eli because of the two sons that Eli had that was doing evil in all Israel. And the father he made a pledge right here. Verse 30. He said in verse 30, in 1 Samuel chapter 2:30, he said, wherefore Yah of Israel said, this is the creator of Israel, spoken in Israel's name, in Yah's name. I said indeed that thy house and the house of thy father shall walk before me forever. Right? But now, this is what he didn't change it, but he switched it. See, the father don't change, but he did switch some stuff up. Because he still kept it the same, but he switched it up in a different way. And that's the difference people need to understand. When he said, I say indeed that thy house and the house of thy father should walk before me forever. But now Yah said, be it far from me. Talking about far from me for everybody. It's not for everybody no more. Said, for them that honor me, I will honor. For you Levites that honor me, I will honor. And they that despise me shall be lightly esteemed. It might not even just be for the Levi. Maybe he's talking to him about the Levi or the Levites, because they was they were the priesthood. But he may be saying just in general, because he said it in Exodus chapter 33. They that honor me, I will. Exodus chapter 33. Let me just say this part for you real quick, because the Father was speaking in general at that time as well. Right here at the bottom, at verse 19. I take it from 16. 16 through 20. It says, For wherein shall it be known here that I and my people have found grace in thy sight? Is it not in that thou goest with us? So shall we be separated, I and thy people, from all the people that are upon the face of the earth. 17. And Yah said unto Moses, I will do this thing also that thou hast spoken, for thou hast found grace in my sight, and I know thee by name. 18. And he said, I beseech thee, show me thy glory. That was Moses said to the Creator. 19. And he said, I will make all my goodness pass before thee, and I will proclaim the name of Yah before thee. And I say, and will be gracious. Here we go. And will be gracious to whom I will be gracious, and will show mercy on whom I will show mercy. And he said, thou canst not see, put that in there. But he said, thou canst not see my face, for there shall no man see me and live. No man can see the Creator and live. Verse 21. And Yah said, Behold, there is a place by me, and thou shalt stand upon a rock, and it shall come to pass, while my glory passes by, that I will put thee in a cliff of the rock, and will cover thee with my hand while I pass by. 23. And I will take away mine hand, and thou shalt see my back parts, but my face shall not be seen. So I just wanted to show you mainly the key to that I wanted to show was, and I will be gracious to whom I will be gracious, and will show mercy to on whom I will show mercy. That's in chapter Exodus 33, verse 19 at that point. So I shared that to get back over here to First Samuel chapter 30. Again, when it says here, and he's talking to no, he's talking to Eli, but this is I call this the curse of Eli. That's what I'm talking about tonight. I call this the curse of Eli. And in verse 30 says, where Yah say, wherefore Yah of Israel saith, I said indeed that thy house, which is Levi, and the house of thy father should walk before me forever. But now Yah said, be it far from me. For them that honor me I will honor, and they that despise me shall be lightly esteemed. Right? And 31 says, behold, the days come that I will cut off thine arm and the arm of thy father's house, that there shall not be an old man in thine house. And thou shalt see an enemy in my habitation. I still think that's Saul. Right here, I think that's Saul. Then it could be the people of the day. But at this time, I believe he's talking about Saul that was coming to be king. In all the wealth which Yah has given Israel, and there shall not be an old man in thine house forever. See right there, see that's 32, verse 33. And the man of thine whom I shall not cut off from mine altar, and the man of thine, and the man of you whom I shall not cut off from mine altar, shall be to consume thine eyes, and to grieve in thine heart, and to grieve in thine heart. And all the increase of thine house shall die in the flower of their age. That means they're going to be young when they pass. 34. First Samuel 2 and 34. And this shall be a sign unto thee that shall come upon thine two sons, and on Hophni and I say Phinehas, it's Phineas, I guess, I think it is. In one day they shall die, both of them, right? And I will raise me up a faithful priest, and this is Samuel. And I will raise me up a faithful priest that shall do according to that which is in mine heart and in my mind. And I will build him a sure house, and he shall walk before mine anointed forever. And it shall come to pass that everyone that is left in thine house shall come and crouch to him for a piece of silver and a morsel of bread, and shall say, put me, I pray thee, into one of the priest's office, that I may eat a piece of bread. Now I got to go back and see this priest. And I will raise me up a faithful priest that shall do according to that which is in mine heart and in my mind. And I will build him a sure house, and he shall walk before mine anointed forever. Okay. And it shall come to pass that everyone that is left in thine house, in his house, shall come and crouch to him for a piece of silver and a morsel of bread, and shall say, put me, I pray thee, into one of the priest's office, that I may eat a piece of bread. Mm. So people are going to be in charge, and people of his house is going to have to come and practically beg, practically. Excuse me, y'all. Now, Samuel warns Eli. This is where the Creator is calling Samuel. This is in chapter 3 right now. So, right here in chapter 3, okay. Samuel chapter 3, we'll go right here real quick. And Yah came and stood, we'll go 3 and 10. I ain't tell y'all where I was at. Now, from here in the beginning of chapter 3, it says, Creator called Samuel. And in verse 7, which is a special point I got written down here or marked, says, Now Samuel did not yet know Yah, neither was the word of Yah yet revealed unto him. See, he was learning, but he didn't know him. Now we jump down to 10. And Yah came and stood and called as at other times, Samuel, Samuel. Then, see, Eli told Samuel what to say in order to see what was going on, because he thought Eli was calling him. But Eli told him, if you hear it again, just say, Here am I. So, 10 again. And Yah came and stood and And Yah came and stood and called as at other times, Samuel, Samuel. Then Samuel answered, Speak, for thy servant heareth. Verse 11. And Yah said to Samuel, check this out, y'all. This is, like I said, the curse of Eli. And Yah said to Samuel, Behold, I will do a thing in Israel that at which both the ears of everyone that heareth it shall tingle. In that day I will perform against Eli. That's why I say the curse of Eli, y'all. I will perform, where we at? I will perform against Eli all things which I have spoken concerning his house. When I begin, I will also make an end. When he begin, he gonna make an end. See, when he started the beginning of his house, he gonna make an end. His end was when? He find Phineas and Hophni, whatever, the two sons of Eli, and Eli himself. Right? We've been through this, so I'm not getting nothing, not telling nothing too soon. In that day I will perform against Eli all the things which I have spoken concerning his house. When I begin, I will also make an end. 13. For I have told him, he already told him, that I would judge his house forever for the iniquity which he knoweth. See, that's the difference. When you know something, for the iniquity which he knoweth, because his sons has made themselves vile, and he restrained them not. He know what they was doing, and he talked to them, but he didn't try to restrain them. He didn't try to y'all come and get him. He didn't try to tell no people to come and get him. He didn't. He let them do what they wanted to do. And you know how a lot of these parents do. They favor their children, allow them children to do whatever they want to do instead of putting them in their place. And that's the problem with the children of today. Themselves vile, and he restrained them not. 14. And therefore I have sworn unto the house of Eli that the iniquity of Eli's house shall not be purged with sacrifice nor offerings forever. That means that he can't ask forgiveness. It won't be purged. That means you can't ask forgiveness. When the Creator says something, that's why it's always good to be on his best side. Start learning the law, do what he say do, understand, because when you know better, you're supposed to do better. Not know better and think you're still going to get away with it. Oh, I'm going to get away with this. No. No. When you know better, you do better. And Samuel laid, number 15, we had 15. And Samuel laid until the morning and opened the doors of the house of Yah, and Samuel feared to show Eli the vision. 16. And then Eli called Samuel and said, Samuel, my son. And he said, answered, Here am I. And he said, What is the thing that the Lord has said unto thee? I pray thee, hide it not from me. God do so to thee, and more also, if thou hide anything from me of all the things that he said unto thee. And Samuel told him everything, verse 18. And Samuel told him every whit and hid nothing from him. And he said, it is the Lord, it is Yah. Let him do what seemeth him good. Ain't nothing he can do. It's Yah. Let him do what he can do. Ain't nothing. He can't even repent now. That is sad. Somebody come to you and tell you that you're going to die tomorrow at a certain such time and this and that. Ain't nothing you can do about it. God said this going to happen. All you can do is like, you can probably cry, whatever you can, but ain't nothing you can do because if the Father said it, it's going to happen. That's why it's always good to be good with the Creator before you even think about getting in the wrong way. Get good with the Creator, be on His side. These are examples. These are examples. And people don't even realize, you know, people think they're getting away with a lot today. They don't realize you ain't getting away with nothing. That's why it's always good to try to be right with what you do at what you do. It is the Lord. Let him do what seemeth him good. He ain't say nothing. He couldn't say nothing. Credit, boy. He couldn't even say nothing bad. He couldn't say nothing bad because he was in the wrong. And Samuel grew and verse 19, and Samuel grew and Yah was with him and did let none of his words fall to the ground. See that? And all Israel from Dan even to Beersheba knew that Samuel was established to be a prophet of Yah, and Yah prepared him at Shiloh, Shiloh, for Yah revealed himself to Samuel in Shiloh by the word of Yah. Now, what I'm going to do is get to the next point of it from this point on. Now, this is the end of part one. But for for Facebook Live, face keep saying Facebook. Why I keep because that one used to always go off. YouTube Live, this will be part two for you. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna pause. Don't go nowhere, Julia. We're going to pause Zoom. Um, we're gonna go to part two on this. But don't go nowhere, Julia. We're gonna pause you for a minute and we're gonna get the formalities out for everybody else on the rest of them, just in case you only see this one point. So they'll get the end of this point here and then they'll come back to part two. But other than that, I am that Mikael in Daniel chapter 12, verses 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that's me. Showing the holy people who they're really supposed to be. Waking them out of their dead beds, which is really in their heads. For all of you who living in the new, this is for you. I'm that same Mikael in Revelations 12, battling that red dragon where Satan dwell, who deceiveth the whole world but prevaileth not, because the horn is blown without a doubt. This is prophesied for you to see that Mikael is really me. Right back, Zoom. I'm going to put you on pause for a few moments. We'll be right back. All right, all right, all right, all right. What's going on? What's going on, everyone? This is me. This is Fight Fire with Truth. This is part two of Fight Fire with Truth. And tonight, we're in the night between the first day of the week and between the second day of the week, which is the day was September 7th, 2025. And we're in the night now, going into the eighth day, which is tomorrow. Supposed to be blood moon tonight. It was either the seventh or tonight. So it might be a blood moon tonight or it was last night, but either or, we're in that time. But other than that, right now we're speaking on I was speaking yesterday, let me put it like this. I was speaking yesterday on David flees from Saul. And in David fleeing from Saul in chapter 21, 22, and 23, um, as David was fleeing from Saul, David went to the priest at Nob. He went to the priest there, and there, when he went there, he lied and was saying that Saul told him to go there and do some business, but he didn't tell nobody to know what the business was. So he needed to come there. Can you give him 5 loaves of bread or just some bread, whatever you may have, since I'm on my way doing what I'm doing? And do do you have any weapons here? I don't have any weapons. He sent me. I was up in haste, so I made a move. And the priest gave him Goliath sword. He said, "That's nothing like that. Yeah, give that to me." And he said, He gave him some bread, and he inquired of the Creator for him. So what ended up happening is the priest didn't know that the priest didn't know that Saul was looking for David to kill David because Saul was jealous of David because it was the ladies when they sung, Saul killed his 1,000 and David his 10,000 after David killed killed Goliath. Saul had an evil spirit upon him from the Creator, and he was jealous of David from that point on after he killed Goliath. So from that point on, he had a jealous spirit on him, evil spirit, jealous spirit. He wanted to kill David for whatever reason, that was the reason he was jealous of him, and he was scared he was going to take the kingdom. So in part one, I kind of shared a lot of that, but the main reason why I'm calling this the curse of Eli is because those priests that died was of the house of Eli, and those priests that got killed, even though Saul didn't want to hear nothing they had to say, and he just murdered those men for trying to tell them what it is. And I'm gonna tell you, Julia, if you were here, you know about somebody did the same thing to me and my wife not too long ago, trying to tell us we did something we did when they ain't ask us nothing. They didn't try to find out. And to me, that's unrighteous. If you're not trying to find out a certain situation, and well, we don't really care. No, we just let everybody know we good. Actually, my wife was ready to just get away from that group anyway, but we was there for a purpose. So we was there for a purpose to get what we need. But I'm used to it, so I wasn't even worried about it. But it's just the fact of what happened and the way it happened. Same thing with this story. The Edomite, Saul, number one, Saul didn't care about what that priest said. He said, "Oh, you conspired against me. You entreated for God for him. You're an enemy. You for my enemy. No, you're going to die today." So he murdered. He had to eat. He told his men to kill the priest of. He said to kill the priest of the Lord. I mean, he knew what he was doing. Lay your hands on the priest of the Lord. He knew what he was doing. Wasn't scared. But his men said, "No, I'm not doing that." But he told the Edomite, Doeg, Doeg, not Doge, but Doeg, Doeg, dog, or whatever you want to call him. That was the Edomite name. He said, he said, kill the priest of the Lord. That dude killed the priest, the women, the children, the suckling babies, the sheep, the oxen. He killed everything there. And he just told him to kill the priest. This is Esau. He killed everything. This goes to show what type of people, same mindset in the same people of today. Same mindset is in those same people today. But I'm not saying everyone, it's certain ones. So what we're doing is we're going through the show, and I'm sharing it's the curse of Eli, what happened because of what happened to those priests. This is the curse of Eli. Eli knew what his sons was doing. He knew the children. All he did is just tell them, "Y'all, this is not a good thing." He allowing them to do it, knowing what they was doing. He ain't putting no restraint on. He said, "You honor your children." The Creator said, "You honor your children over me." He said, "We said, man." He said, There's no repenting for this." Eli, in your house, there's no repenting because you the closest. Think about it. You the closest thing to me. You the closest thing to me over all the people. You defaming and defiling me in front of my face, or you are not you, but you're allowing your children to do it. And you just talk, but you ain't putting no restraint down. You didn't even put one of them to death to show you what could happen, or show them that the Creator come first. That reminds me of my song, Fast and Pray. Drink alkaline water of 9.5. Then you heal and will arrive. Imagine leaving your children, your life. As a matter of fact, even your wife. This is the thing we must do to prove that we're true. The Almighty will see you through, and that's straight from me to you, right? You got to forsake everything for the Creator, and especially he was in the priest's office, and he knew that he knew the Creator, but he allowed his son to do what they want to do. So this came up, and just for a recap on that, if you go to Samuel chapter 2, actually, yeah, Samuel chapter 2, verse 27, the whole chapter 2, starting at verse 12, talking about the sons of Eli. Then it talks about when verse 22, when he talked to Eli from 22 through 25. And then 27, a man of Yah, which is a prophet, came to Eli, verse 27 through what is it, 34? Through 34. And this is going to be the sign in 34. And this shall be the sign unto thee that shall come upon thy two sons, Hophni and Phinehas of Phineas. In one day they shall die, both of them in one day. Both of them gonna die, but all three of them died. If y'all know the story. So now went from there. We went, and then from there we went into went to chapter 3, verse 10 through 14. Right, really, verse 10 all the way through. We read all that through, showing the difference. And Samuel and what Samuel, the Creator spoke to Samuel and told him what would happen. And he said that right here, verse 14, it says, and therefore I have sworn unto the house of Eli that the iniquity of Eli's house shall not be purged. You mean you can't be forgiven with sacrifices nor with offerings forever. You can't be purged for that. This is his whole house. He put a curse upon his whole seed, right? So that's when Samuel told him what he said. Don't hide it from me. So in verse 18 it says, and Samuel told him everything. Verse 18, chapter 3, verse 18 of First Samuel. Um, and Samuel told him every whit, and hid nothing from him. And he said, it is Yah's. Let him. It is the Lord. It is Yah. Let him do what seems him good. And Samuel grew, and that when you talk about Samuel from that point on. Now we're going into chapter 3. And when he talked about Israel defeated by the Philistines, right? Verse 3 is a key verse here. See, it says, and when the people were come into the camp, the elders of Israel said, wherefore have Yah smitten us today before the Philistines? Let us fetch the ark of the covenant of Yah out of Shiloh unto us, that when it, now you know what made a clear cut caption on that? This guy that his name is Kim, I forgot his name, Kim something. He used to prophesy by singing. He's singing here prophesy. He actually prophesied Trump was going to be in office twice back in 99 or 2000, 2001, around that time. My wife, she knew of him. I didn't know it long before I got back to Detroit and understood or knew anything about Kim Clement, I think his name is. Kim Clement. And he did a prophecy, and he was singing prophecy. He prophesied about Trump coming into office 2 terms. He prophesied this, right? By he was singing, he prophesied these things, right? So I said that to say that right here, he made in his prophecy, he's talked about this point in verse 3. He said the father was upset because they said right here in verse in the last part of 3, it said, let us fetch the ark of the covenant of Yah, it out of Shiloh unto us, that when it cometh among us, it may save us out of the hand of our enemies. They said it, and he made that plainly clear. See, you got to understand every word in here has a portion or a portion to do with the way we live and the things that's going on according to prophecy. And I totally understand when he said that they said they called them, they didn't say that Yah was going to say it, but they said it. They call Yah it. Cometh among us, it may save us out of the hand of our enemies. So the people sent, verse 4. So the people sent to Shiloh that they might bring from this and the ark of the covenant of Yah of hosts, which dwelleth between the cherubims, and the two sons of Eli, Hophni and Phinehas, Phineas, were there with the ark of the covenant of Yah. See, they was there. And when the ark of the covenant of Yah came into the camp, all Israel shouted with a great shout so that the earth rang again. And when the Philistines, check this out, heard that the noise shout, they said, "What meaneth the noise of the Hebrews?" That they understood, and they understood that the ark of Yah was coming to the camp. And the Philistines were afraid, for they said, "Yah is come into the camp." See, they ain't say it. They said Yah has come into the camp, and they said, woe unto us, for there have not been such a thing therefore. Woe unto us. Woe, say, who shall deliver us out of the hand of these mighty gods? That's what they said. See, they giving more praises than the Israelites doing at the time. These are the gods that smote the Egyptians with all the plagues in the wilderness. Be strong and quit yourselves like men, O ye Philistines, that ye be not servants unto the Hebrews, as they have been to you. Quit yourselves like men and fight. Right? Right here. Verse 10. Philistines captured the ark. And the Philistines fought, and Israel was smitten, and they fled every man into his tent. And there was a very great slaughter, for there fell of Israel 30,000 footmen. 11. And the ark of Yah was taken, and the two sons of Eli, Hophni and Phinehas, Phineas, was slain. You see that? That was the father's sign. That was the creator's sign. That was the sign. The ark of the ark was there was and the ark of Yah was taken, and the two sons of Eli, Hophni and Phineas, or Phinehas, whatever name, were slain. Then the death of Eli. And there ran a man of Benjamin out of the army. Make sure y'all can see me. Oh, what's going on over here? All right. What's going on with you, YouTube? The death of Eli. And there ran a man of Benjamin out of the army and came to Shiloh the same day with his clothes rent and with earth upon his head. And when he came, Eli sat upon the seat by the wayside, watching, for his heart trembled for the ark of Yah. He trembled for the ark of Yah. Because they know when they had the ark with them, they know the Father was among them. He trembled for the ark of Yah. And when the man came into the city and told it all, the city cried out. And when Eli heard the noise of the crying, he said, "What meaneth the noise of this tumult?" And the man came in hasty and told Eli. Now Eli was 98 years old. He was 98 years old. And his eyes was dim, that he could not see. And the man said unto Eli, I am he that came out of the army, and I fled today out of the army. And he said, what is there done, my son? And the messenger answered and said, Israel is fled before the Philistines, and there has been also a great slaughter among the people. And they two, and thy two sons, Hophni and Phinehas, are dead, and the ark of Yah is taken. That what the young man said. This is the messenger bringing a message. And the messenger answered and said, Israel is fled before the Philistines, and there has been also a great slaughter among the people. And thy two sons, Hophni and Phinehas, are dead, and the ark of Yah is taken. And it came to pass when he made mention of the ark of Yah, he fell from off the seat backwards by the side of the gate, and his neck brake, and he died. For he was an old man and heavy, and he had judged Israel 40 years. Mm, mm, mm. That was Eli. See, that will happen to Eli. This is the curse of Eli. But the curse goes on. Check it out. From the end of this point right here. And it came to pass, verse 18. And it came to pass when he made mention of the ark of Yah that he fell from off the seat backwards by the side of the gate, and his neck brake, and he died. For he was an old man and heavy, and had judged Israel 40 years. And his daughter in law, Phinehas' wife, was with child, near to be delivered. And when she heard the tidings that the ark of Yah was taken, and that her father-in-law and her husband were dead, she bowed herself and travailed, and her pains came upon her. And about the time of her death, the women that stood by her said unto her, Fear not, for thou hast borne a son. But she answered not. That means she passed. Neither did she regard it. And she named the child Ichabod. I said that too. I said that before. Ichabod. And she named the child Ichabod, saying, The glory is departed from Israel, because the ark of Yah was taken, and because of her father-in-law and her husband. And she said, The glory is departed from Israel, for the ark of Yah is taken. Then when you and from verse 5, the ark was gone. I think the ark was gone 20 years. And the ark of Yah was in the country of the Philistines 7 months at that time. It's trying to see, 'cause I remember when it was supposed to be gone, they said the ark was gone 20 years. When the Philistines heard the children of Israel. Amnesia. Forgot exactly what it was. Well, ain't what I'm looking for, but I was just looking for it. I'm gonna come across it. I forgot exactly where it was, but I know it was gone 20 years. And see, at this time, Ichabod had to grow up. Where's yeah, right here, 21. Chapter 4, 1 Samuel 4 and 21 is when This all right here is from, and it came to pass when he made mention of the ark, where he was an old man, heavy, and he had judged Israel 40 years. He was 90, how old he said he was? 98 years old. And it came to pass that he made mention of the ark of Yah, fell from the sea backwards. And his daughter-in-law, Phinehas' wife, was with child, near to be delivered. And when she heard the tidings that the ark of Yah was taken, that her father-in-law and her husband were dead, both herself, but she bowed herself and travailed, for her pains came upon her. So she started to have a baby. And about the time of her death, the woman that stood by her said unto her, Fear not, for thou hast borne a son. But she answered not, neither did she regard it. She couldn't even, I guess when she had the baby, she was gone. She couldn't even answer it or, oh, I got a boy. Or she never even regarded it because she flat out, like she was gone. And about the time of her death, the women that stood by her said, Fear not, for thou hast borne a son. But she answereth not, neither did she regard it. And she named the child Ichabod, saying, The glory is departed from Israel, because the ark of Yah was taken, excuse me, and because of her father-in-law and her husband. And she said, The glory is departed from Israel, for the ark of Yah is taken. Okay. Now, let's get on further down the line. I was looking for when the ark came back. But I know it's supposed to be gone 20 years. I'm skipping up some chapters now. To the house of Abinadab. And the men, chapter 7, it says, And the men of Kirjath Jearim came and fetched up the ark of Yah and brought it into the house of Abinadab in the hill, and sanctified Elijah his son to keep the ark of Yah. And it came to pass, while the ark abode at Kirjath that the time was long, for it was, there it go, 20 years right there. Well, it's 20 years. I know it's going to come up on it. So Ichabod was 20 years old at this time. All the house of Israel lamented after Yah. And it came to pass, verse 2, that 1 Samuel 7 and 2 says, And it came to pass while the ark abode at Kirjath that the time was long, for it was 20 years, and all the house of Israel lamented after Yah. Samuel leads Israel to repentance. Verse 3, And Samuel spake unto all the house of Israel, saying, If ye do return unto Yah with all your heart, then put away the strange, see there, it was worshiping other gods at that time. Put away the strange gods of Ashtaroth from among you, and prepare your hearts unto Yah, and serve him only. And he will deliver you out of the hand of your Philistines. And the children of Israel did put away Baalim and Ashtaroth and serve Yah only. And Samuel said, Gather all Israel to Mizpah, and I will pray for you unto Yah. And they gathered together at Mizpah and drawed water and poured it out before Yah.
and fasted on that day, and said, there we have sinned against Yah. And Samuel judged the children of Israel in Mizpah, 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 Mizpah. Israel defeats Philistines. Okay, about the 20 years. He was gone 20 years, so Ichabod ended up being 20 years old. That's the reason why I was looking for that. Because when they took the ark, at this time they took it, Ichabod was born. So it's 20 years old after that time. Scamming for a couple of situations here. Because is Ichabod was the son of Phineas, Phinehas Phineas. And remember, there were other priests there. Cause remember when Phineas and his brother wanted to get the priest food, it wasn't just them two. Excuse me. There was other priests of Levi, but Eli's house is Phineas, Hophni, or whatever his name is, and Eli. So wherever their wives was the ones to have the seed from them, which was Ichabod, which is the next one that came from him. So I'm trying to figure out. I'm gonna get back up into and I remember seeing Ichabod um, coming down the line, and the sons walk not in. Samuel made sons to judge. Samuel makes his sons to judge. And it came to pass when Samuel was old that he made his sons. Okay, this is Samuel right here in chapter 8. And it came to pass when Samuel was old that he made his sons judges over Israel. Now the name of his first was Joel, Joel, and the name of the second Abia, Abia, Abia. They were judges in Beersheba, and his sons walked not in his ways, but turned aside after lucre and took bribes. See, they took lucre and took bribes and perverted judgments. Compared to, I won't say right or wrong, but compared to sleeping with other people's wives or sleeping with the women in the church or in the temple, uh, eating raw flesh. Now, I don't know what is better or wrong or whatever, but I'm just saying this is what was going on. They took bribes and they perverted judgment, and they went after money. They was greedy for money, which a lot of these preachers is today, aren't they? Israel seeks for a king. Now, this is when the people are asking for a king. So now, this is chapter 8. Samuel, he making his children judges, but now they're doing certain things. They saying, well, they ain't judging right now. We want a king. They ain't doing right. They supposed to be taking after you. You old now. And this is where the king come in at. Then all the elders of Israel gathered themselves together and came to Samuel in Ramah. This is 1 Samuel chapter 8, verse 4. Verse 5 now. And said unto him, Behold, thou art old, and thy sons walk not in thy ways. See, they letting them know, your son ain't walking like you. They not being honorable. Hold on, excuse me. Oh, your sons are not being honorable. Your sons walk not in thy ways. Now make us a king to judge us like all the other nations. So they want someone that's going to be honorable. But then what happened? Verse 6. But the thing displeased Samuel when they said, Give us a king to judge us. And Samuel prayed unto Yah, and Yah said unto Samuel, Hearken unto the voice of the people in all that they say unto thee. For they have not rejected thee, but they have rejected me. This is the Creator talking. That I should not reign over them, according to all the works which they have done since the day that I brought them up out of Egypt, even unto this day. So mainly saying, ever since I brought y'all up out of Egypt, y'all been worshiping other gods. Y'all been doing what you want to do. You know, no matter what I did, y'all say even when I was gone, when the mark was gone, y'all was turning to other gods, little deities and whatever. Give them what they want. But check it out. The reason I'm calling this the curse of Eli is because I'm still on the son of Phinehas, or shall I say Phineas, on his son, because he's the only one that was from that, far as I know, from that side of the family that had a child and that grew up in the priest's office. That's why I'm gonna get back to chapter 22 in a few moments. But right now I'm just reading the timeline coming up to that point. Now, therefore, verse 9. They have rejected, no, verse 7, the end of 7. But they have rejected me that I should not reign over them. Verse 8. According to all the works which they have done since the day that I brought them up out of Egypt, even unto this day, wherewith they have forsaken me and served other deities, gods, so do they also unto you. D. Now, verse 9. Now therefore hearken unto their voice, howbeit yet protest solemnly unto them, and show them the manner of the king that shall reign over them. I'm going to tell you what kind of king that's going to reign over you. Verse 10. And Samuel told all the words of Yah unto the people that asked of him a king. And he said, this will be the manner of the king that shall reign over you. He will take your sons and appoint them for himself, for his chariots, and to be his horsemen, and some shall run before his chariots. And he will appoint him captains over thousands and captains over fifties, and will set them to ear his ground, and to reap his harvest, and to make his instruments of war, and instruments of his chariots. And he will take your daughters to be confectionaries, and to be cooks, and to be bakers. And he will take your fields and your vineyards and your olive yards, even the best of them, and give them to his servants. See that? Whoo! Hold on. I got the guy reading over here what he said. What he said over here in verse 8, Psalm 22 and 8. That all of you have conspired against me, and there is none that showeth me that my son have made a league with the son of Jesse. And there is none of you that is sorry for me, or showeth unto me that my son hath stirred up my servant against me to lie in wait as it is this day. But I guess what it was over here. Verse 7, it was, I read 8. Then Saul said unto his servant that stood about him, hear now, ye Benjamites, will the son of Jesse give every one of you fields and vineyards, and make you all captains of thousands and captains of hundreds? Dang, what did we just say over here in verse 8? In chapter 8? Here we go. Right here in chapter 8. What it say over here? And he will take your daughters to be confectionaries, and to be cooks, and to be bakers. And he will take your fields and your vineyards and your olive yards and the best of them, and give them to his servants. And he will take the tenth of your seed and of your vineyards, and give it to his officers and to his servants. And he will take your men servants and your maid servants and your goodliest young men and your asses, and put them to his work. He will take the tenth of your sheep, and ye shall be his servants. I missed something up here, verse 12. And he will appoint him captains over thousands and captains over fifties, and will set them to ear his ground, and to reap his harvest, and to make his instruments of war and instruments of his chariots. Now, verse 18, because I went back up. And ye shall cry out in that day because of your king, which ye shall have chosen you. And Yah will not hear you in that day. See, the Father said these things was gonna happen. Way over here in Samuel 22 and where was we at? In 7. And Saul said unto his servant that stood about him. See, he's letting them know. Is he gonna do all this that I did for you? Is he gonna do all this for this? He said, y'all ain't gonna show me mercy. Nevertheless, number 19, back over here, Samuel, 1 Samuel chapter 8, verse 19. Nevertheless, the people refused to obey the voice of Samuel, and they said, Nay, but we will have a king over us. And number 20, and we also may be like all the nations, that we also may be like all the nations, and that our king may judge us and go out before us and fight our battles. And Samuel heard all the words of the people, and he rehearsed them in the ears of Yah. And Yah said to Samuel, Hearken unto their voice, and make them a king. And Samuel said unto the men of Israel, Go ye every man unto his city. Now this one Saul begins to be chosen, and it comes about. But the whole thing is, Saul didn't come into place until chapter 9. It's all in chapter 9. I'm still looking forward because before I go over here to 22, back to 22, I'm looking for Ichabod again because this is 20 years later. Let me come up a little bit. Let me go to the beginning of, hold on. I was just looking to see about Ichabod. I remember seeing him again. I don't know about underlining his name. What tripped me out is all the stuff that they seen happen, they still kept trying to come back and fight. Ichabod. That's a name though. Hmm. Yep. I know I seen Ichabod again, but I don't know. I'm just scanning and scamming through right now. The reason why, 'cause I remember seeing him again around the time. Guess I can get ready to go back into 22 over in this area. This came to my mind, the reason why that Edomite killed um all those priests. Why did they kill the priest? He had no he probably had in his mind to do it. Okay. Hmm. All right. All right. Hmm. What's up, G? How you doing? Glad you
Okay,
can make
brother.
glad you can make it in.
Huh?
Glad you can make it in, bro.
Yeah, man. I just got free, bro. So yeah, I just had was able to join you, man. I know it's late, but yeah, late than never.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, I was just going over. I kind of called tonight. The curse of Eli. I was going yesterday. I was reading in chapter 21, 22, and 23 when David fleeing from Saul, and then in the time when he was fleeing from Saul, these Edomite, but this Edomite, one Edomite was the chief Edomite, was at the place where the priest was, and David, when he was fleeing from Saul, he went to the priest's office or to the priest and talked to the head priest about giving him about 5 loaves of bread, which I believe that's where they got the story 5 loaves of bread in the New Testament for Jesus. The 5 loaves of bread and some victuals and stuff like that so we can eat. But he said that we don't have any common bread. We have hollowed bread, which is bread that's set for the priest in general. He said, well, that's just like common bread, you might as well say, what have you. David ended up talking him out of it, but it was this Edomite named Doeg, Doeg,
Yeah,
that
that's
overlooked.
Doeg.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, Doeg. Yeah,
It's Doeg. Say Doeg. Okay, so who that
like doe and egg. Like you
yeah,
know how you call a baby deer doe
uh-huh.
and egg. Doeg.
E.g. Yeah. So that Edomite was listening to the conversation, and David said that I knew that he was going to go and tell Saul because he was Saul's servant. So he ended up killing off all the priests. So when I got done yesterday, after I was laid down with the
Yeah, he
bed,
went on a rampage, right? Just started slaughtering.
slaughtering all the priests, and yeah, exactly. You remember that story, huh?
Yeah, yep, yeah.
Yeah, so when he did that, but Saul only told him to kill the priests. He went, like you said, and he was a what? He was an Edomite. This is what they do. They men of war. So he went and killed everything, but so I'm telling him to do all that. But my point of view is that after I laid down yesterday, I thought about it. I said, didn't the creator say, because that's why I call this tonight, I'm calling this the curse of Eli. So I'm going back to show where when the creator had told Eli that by you not correcting your sons and you honoring your sons above me, and they're doing all this stuff in Israel. That means you honor your son above me. So now your house is cursed. Man, he ain't say it, but that's what he did. He cursed Eli's house. And when his two sons died, and Eli died, and then Phineas or Phineas, when his wife was having the baby, she passed while he was having the baby, but they called the baby Ichabod. And I'm thinking the baby, and I knew it was 20 years later before the ark made it back to the children of Israel. 20 years later. So the Ichabod had to grow up to be 20 years old, but he still was in a priest's office. So he's still young, but I'm just going through facts here to find the certain points because that was still the fathers or the creator's prophecy back in what is it, Samuel chapter 2. Yup. Samuel chapter 2, verse 27 through 30, actually through the end, but really to 34. 27 through 34 was the creator's promise, really. Yeah, that was his curse. A prophet came to Eli and told him everything from 20 verse 27 in chapter First Samuel chapter 2, verse 27 through 34. And he told him that, and then the father, the creator, talked to it warned Samuel warns Eli. He told Eli the same thing after the father talked to Samuel in chapter 3, verse 10 through 14. And then in verse 18, Eli said, well, let it seem good. God do what he gonna do because it can't be purged. He said he can't repent. Eli couldn't even repent. So this why I got the curse of Eli. This is his curse. And what I'm finding is trying to get down to his seed because after the two sons died, after they died, and then Eli died in chapter 4. When they died, um, in verse 21, chapter 1 Samuel chapter 4, verse 21, it says that the woman had bear the name, they call his name Ichabod. So now Ichabod is the son that I'm looking for now to have grown up 20 years later, which when the ark made it back, and I just found that right here in First Samuel chapter 7, if verse in chapter 2, in chapter 7, verse 2, when it says, For the ark was gone 20 years, and all the house of Israel lamented after Yah. Then that's when Samuel spake unto all the house of Israel. And then in chapter 8, chapter 8 is when they start asking for a king. So everything is a timeline, and we're walking it down.
Hey, yo, I was hearing something about the book of Eli is in the original Apocrypha, right?
I don't know. The Book of Eli, I don't know. You mean the Book of Eli, the movie, or the Book of
No,
Eli?
there's an actual book of Eli, and there's another book called the Gospel of Saint Thomas that someone was telling me to check out.
Say that last one again.
The Gospel of Saint Thomas, or the Gospel of Thomas. I
Yeah,
mean,
I heard about Gospel of Time.
hold on, my brother. Somebody calling me.
I got you. I heard of the Gospel of Thomas before, though. But Thomas, he was in the New Testament. I don't even know if the Creator even talked to him. Yeah, let's go. Saul's hearts changed, 3 loaves of bread, 3 kids. Prophet, spirit. Okay. Before I get to that point, Saul defeats the Ammonites. I remember seeing Ichabod again after that time. I can't seem to find it as of yet. I'm just looking for Ichabod before I go back to the latter parts. Hmm. Hmm. I don't see it at this point. May walk looked over it. Okay, I see David coming up. Hmm. Hmm. I don't know, y'all. I can't find that young man's name again just yet, unless I done ran through it. I'm at 14 right now. Ichabod, though. Ichabod. Where you at, Ichabod? All right, y'all. I know y'all see me just running through. Mhm. Chapter 16, David was anointed king, but David didn't know he was anointed king at this point in time. He just knew he was anointed. As far as I know, I've been to dad. All right. All right, man. I just can't. I remember seeing it, but I don't remember seeing it. I remember seeing it more than once that I can remember. But, okay. Well, I ain't gonna worry about it, y'all. And I've been sitting up here looking through this most of this time, but I'm gonna go over here where I know I'm supposed to be at right now. Over here, what happened with Doeg? You just told me the name. I don't remember it though. Then David. Now let me give you the key again. I think I read it once, but I'll get back to it. Right here it says, then chapter 21. Chapter 21, it states, then came David. This is 1 Samuel chapter 21. It says, then David flees to Nob. Then came David to Nob to Amalek the priest, and Amalek was afraid at the meeting of David, and said unto him, why art thou alone and no man with thee? And David said unto Ahimelech, the priest, the king have commanded me a business and have said unto me, let no man know anything of the business whereby I send thee, and what I have commanded thee, and I have appointed my servant to such and such a place. Talking about David. Now therefore, what is under thine hand, give me 5 loaves of bread in my hand, or what there is present. And 4, and the priest answered David and said, there is no common bread under my hand, but there is hallowed bread, if the young men have kept themselves at least from women. And David answered the priest and said unto him, of a truth, women have been kept from us about these 3 days. That means they had sex in those 3 days. Since I came out, and the 3 days from the new moon, meaning after the fast, because I'm beginning to see supposed to fast at the beginning of the month, which is every new moon we're supposed to fast. Since I came out, and the vessels of the young men are holy, and the bread is in a manner of common. Yea, though it were sanctified this day in the vessel. So the priest gave him hallowed bread, for there was no bread there but the showbread that was taken from from Yah, to put hot bread in the day when it was taken away. Now a certain man, this is the one who killed off all the priests, 85 of them. Now a certain man, verse 7, chapter 21, verse 7. Now a certain man of the service of Saul was there that day, detained before Yah. See, he's detained before Yah. And I was wondering, when I seen that, I knew that was detained was there for a reason. He said before Yah. It was detained. He was holding there for a reason. Detained before Yah, and his name was Doeg, an Edomite, the chiefest of the herdmen that belongeth to Saul. Verse 8. And David said unto Ahimelech, and is there not under thine hand spear or sword? For I have neither bought my sword nor my weapons with me, because the king's business requires haste. See, yeah, haste try to get him. And the priest said, the sword of Goliath the Philistine, whom thou slewest in the valley of Elah. Behold, it is here wrapped in the cloth behind the ephod. If thou wilt take that, take it, for there is no other save that here. And David said, there is none like that. Give it me. Give it to me. David flees from Gath. So now he's going to leave from there and go to Gath, and he's going to play a madman for a minute. Then verse 22, then chapter 22, David flees from Adullam. So he flees from this place, and these people add themselves to him. Chapter 2, verse 1, 22, verse 1. chapter 22, verse 1. David therefore departed thence and escaped to the cave Adullam. Adullam. And when his brethren and all his father's house heard it, they went down thither to him. They went down there to him. And everyone that was in distress, and everyone that was in debt, and everyone that was in discontented, gathered themselves unto him, and became a captain, and he became a captain over them, and there were with him about 400 men. 400 men came him. Remember what Saul was supposed to do? What Saul was going to do. You know, he took things, took land, he took stuff. And David went thence to Mizpah of Moab, and he said unto the king of Moab, Let my father and my mother, I pray thee, come forth and be with you, till I know what Yah will do for me. And he brought them before the king of Moab, Moabites, the Moors, and they dwelt with them all the while that David was in the hold. And the prophet Gad said unto David, Abide not in the hold, depart and get thee into the land of Judah. Then David departed and came to the forest in Harith. See, you say forest in one point and wood in another. Saul kills the priest of Nob. There you go. Here we go now. Starting at verse 6. When Saul heard that David, this is the reason why I say this is the curse of Eli, because of the priest. And Saul killed the priest of Nob. When Saul heard that David was discovered and the men that were with him, now Saul abode in Gibeah under a tree in Ramah, having his spear in his hand. Excuse me. Having the spear in his hand, and all his servants were standing about him. Then Saul said unto his servants that stood about him, Hear now, ye Benjamites, will the son of Jesse give every one of you fields and vineyards, and make you all captains of thousands and captains of hundreds? That all of you have conspired against me, and there is none that showeth me that my son hath made a league with the son of Jesse. And there is none of you that is sorry for me, or showeth unto me that my son hath stirred up my servants against me, to lie in wait as at this day. Then answered Doeg, the Edomite, which was set over the servants of Saul, and said, I saw the son of Jesse coming to Noab, to Ahimelech, the son of Athub, and he inquired of Yah for him, and gave him victuals, and gave him the sword of Goliath the Philistine. He told that to Saul. Then the king sent to call Ahimelech and the priest, the son of Athub, and all of his fathers, Athub, a son of Athub, I'm just going to say it like that, and all the fathers' house of the priests that were at Nob, and they came all of them to the king. And Saul said, Hear now, thou son of Athub. And he answered, Here am I, my lord. And Saul said unto him, Why have ye conspired against me, thou and the son of Jesse, in that thou hast given him bread and a sword, and that inquired of Yah for him, that he should rise against me and lie in wait as at this day? Then Ahimelech answered the king and said, And who is so faithful among all thy servants as David? Who is so faithful among all your servants as David, which is the king's son-in-law, which is your son-in-law? And go up at thy bidding, and is honorable in thine house. He's honorable to you. Did I then begin to inquire of Yah for him? Be it far from me. Let not the king impute anything unto his servant, nor to all the house of my father, for thy servant knew nothing of all this, less or more. And king, which is Saul, and the king said, Thou shalt surely die, Ahimelech, thou and all thy father's house. And the king said unto the footmen that stood about him, Turn and slay the priests of Yah. I can't even see how he could just say that, come out of his mouth. Slay the priests of Yah. Because their hand also is with David, and because they knew when he fled and did not show it to me. How they gonna know? They didn't know. But the servants of the king would not put forth their hand to fall upon the priests of Yah. And the king said to Doeg, Turn thou and fall upon the priests, and Doeg, whatever, the Edomite turned and he fell upon the priests and slew on that day 85 persons, 85 people. That did wear linen ephod. See that? 85 that just wore them, and Noah, the city of the priests, smote he with the edge of the sword both men and women, children and suckling, and oxen and asses and sheep with the edge of the sword. And one of the sons of Ahimelech, the son of Athub, named Abathar, escaped and fled after David. And Abathar showed David that Saul had slain Yah's priest. And David said unto Abathar, I knew it that day when Doeg the Edomite was there, that he would surely tell Saul, I have occasioned the death of all the persons of thy father's house. Abide thou with me, fear not, for he that seeketh my life seeketh thy life, but with me thou shalt be in safeguard. Hang with me, you're going to be safe. But in all that, the whole prophecy to Eli is about his house and his seed. In chapter 2. Or that chapter 3. 1 Samuel chapter 2 or chapter 3. That was in chapter 3. Samuel is in chapter 2. In chapter 3, Samuel warns Eli, but chapter 2 is when the Creator had already told Eli, because he didn't straighten his children out. Now Eli was very old. In verse 22, it says in chapter 2, verse 20. Now Eli was very old and heard all that all his sons did unto all Israel. He heard it, but he didn't do nothing to him. Y'all know better. A lot of people put their children as favorites. They don't chastise them children as they should. That's the problem we have today. Excuse me, y'all. Here's a little itchy. Excuse me there. Lift up. So as I was saying, chapter 2, starting at verse 12, give you the keys and the points. But all that still falls under the prophecy of what was told in 2 and 27. I'm going to read 22 on down, though, since we're right here. I call this the curse of Eli. It goes like this. Now, Eli was very old. Verse 22. Chapter 2, verse 22. 222. Now, Eli was very old and heard all that his sons did unto all Israel, and how they lay with the women that assembled at the door of the tabernacle of the congregation, And he said unto them, why do ye such things? For, so he's going to ask him, why you do such things? For I hear of your evil dealings by all this people. Nay, my sons, for it is no good report that I hear. Ye make Yah's people to trespass, to transgress, shall I say. If one man sin against another, the judge shall judge him. But if a man sin against Yah, who shall entreat for him? Notwithstanding, they hearken not unto the voice of their father, because Yah would slay them. And that's what he's supposed to do. He's supposed to chastise them and got their butt straight. But he didn't. 26. And the children of Samuel grew, and the child Samuel grew on and was in favor both with Yah and also with men. 27. And there came a man, they write 27 on through to 20 what? We'll get there in a minute. To 31, I think. And there came a man of Yah unto Eli and said unto him, thus saith Yah, did I plainly appear unto the house of thy father, which they were in when they were in Egypt, in Pharaoh's house? And did I choose him out of all the tribes of Israel to be my priest, to offer upon mine altar to burn incense, to wear an ephod before me? And did I give unto the house of thy father all the offerings made by fire of the children of Israel? Wherefore kick ye at my sacrifice and at mine offering, which I have commanded in my habitation? And honorest thy sons above me? See, you honor your sons above me, to make yourself fat with the chiefest of all the offerings of Israel, my people. Wherefore, Yah, Father of Israel, saith, I said indeed that thy house and the house of thy father should walk before me forever. But now Yah saith, be it far from me. Nope, not just y'all. For them that honor me, I will honor. That's going to be the key. You that honor me, if you priest, you don't honor me, I'm not going to honor you. You're going to be lightly esteemed. But that you honor me, I'm going to honor you. And they that despise me shall be lightly esteemed. Behold, the days come that I will cut off thine arm and the arm of thy father. You see that? Cut off Israel. Cut off the Levites. Your arm and the arm of your father's house, that there should not be an old man in thine house. And thou shalt see an enemy in my habitation. You're going to see an enemy in. That was Saul, as far as I'm concerned. And thou shalt see an enemy in my habitation, in all the wealth which Yah shall give Israel, and there shall not be an old man in thine house forever. You ain't gonna be an old man in your house. And the man of thine whom I shall not cut off from mine altar shall be to consume thine eyes, and to grieve thine heart, and all the increase of thine house shall die in the flower of their age. They're going to die early. And this shall be a sign unto thee that shall come upon thy two sons, on Hophni and Phinehas. In one day they shall die, both of them. They both going to die. Yep. And this right here talking about Samuel. And I will raise me up a faithful priest that shall do according to that which is in my heart, and in my mind, and I will build him a sure house, and he shall walk before mine anointed forever. And it shall come to pass that everyone that is left in thine house shall come and crouch to him for a piece of silver and a morsel of bread, and shall say, put me, I pray thee, into one of thy priest's offices, that I may eat a piece of bread. See that? What it say over here about the 5 loaves that he gave to David. Well, I guess we're gonna call it quits for right now. But that Doeg, or whatever his name is, Doge, Doge. My brother G just told me the name. Got it just that quick. But other than that, that's why I think that curse was upon them for because of that, and that's why the Creator had
Yeah, it's Doeg.
Doeg. Okay, there you go.
Like
Doeg.
dough and egg.
There you go. Yeah, EG. It's not two E's though. Yeah, I like that. Okay, I got you. Yeah, so I'm looking at it where what happened is that that is the curse that caused them to happen to them because when the creator said when they said that the creator when they said that it had him over here when it said it had him the father right here it said now a certain man this is right here in 21 and 7 now a certain man of the servant of Saul was there that day, detained before Yah. See, he was detained before Yah. That his name was Doeg. I like that. Yeah, Doeg, the Edomite, the chiefest of the herdmen that belongeth to Saul. The Creator had him sitting there because of the promise or the prophecy that he said according to Eli. That's why I'm calling this the curse of Eli tonight. So other than that, shoot, this is it for the night. I was going to probably talk about this tomorrow, but nobody was here in the beginning. So I just went ahead and went into that because I was like, man, that kind of hit me yesterday when I was going through 21, 22, and 23. And next week we'll start on 24. Yeah, and he had no he went there, he went like G1 said, he went on a rampage. He went and just started killing up everybody and everything. And he just told him, and Saul just told him just kill the priest, fall upon the priest. He went and killed up everything out there. So other than that, Sister Julia, are you there? I know she might be going to sleep again because she's working hard. It's good to see you though, bro. I'm glad you're here. You know. What did you remember about that story from your back in the day? Because you remember who I was talking about. That was good.
Well, yeah, just like how you were saying, how he just was on the slaughter gang mission, like yo, all
That,
because of like you said, Saul was just so wanting to catch David so hard. You know what I'm saying? He went and sent just like you said, a madman, like you know what I'm saying? That was
yeah.
like sociopath. He out here killing priests and the whole everything. Like you
Yeah.
know,
He was going crazy, wasn't he?
yeah, it's like just trying to find this man, like going so hard, killing up everybody. Yeah, it's just wild. Like, but like you said, that's definitely a curse for sure. Like,
Yep. He got cursed bad, man. He was like, he was trying to find David to kill him. And that Edomite, man, that Edomite just went crazy. So we're gonna see what happened in 34 tomorrow, next week. Mm-mm. I think we're in 24. 24 next week.
yeah, you said 24.
Yeah, we'll be there in 24 next week. We just going week by week, going through the scriptures. Now we're gonna go try to go through the scriptures in the Bible. But man, that was something. And there's a lot of these stories I remember. Some of them I haven't been uh upon or around a lot of like some I remember on and some I remember all because we just go through the Bible and we just study this way as well. But it's been a while since I've been in it the way I'm in it now, going back through it. But the keys is I know what I know when it comes to that New Testament in the growth that I've come to know. And in that growth, you can start to see when you look at these stories, you can start to see how they cut and paste from these stories and put them in the New Testament. And then you can start seeing the timeline on certain things as well and say, okay. But a lot of people just go with belief and what's being taught instead of going by what they know.
Well, yeah, it's about critical thinking. You got to learn how to think for yourself, not what they want you to believe or
There
what they
you go.
tell you. you know, because everybody has their own reasons for wanting you to think this or that, or you know, that's a form of power. It was if I can get you to believe this, or you know, not even question something, or you know what I mean.
Yep,
Yeah, it's all
exactly.
about learning for your own self. You know what I mean, so that you can see clearly with your own two eyes, and you know, be in tune with yourself, what the truth is. You know what I mean?
That's
So
true.
yeah,
That's fact. Because it even says that in Jeremiah. That's the reason why I don't try to act like this is what it is. No, I just say what I come to know. And I know we all have a growth with where we are and as we grow. And sometimes we may not see things on the same level, but then it'd be like, okay, wait a minute, I think later on, you know, or not right now, or later on, or whenever it comes that the creator is going to allow us to see things. Because it may be something that's not connected here, but something here that's coming later on that's going to connect the dots. Okay, I see what they saying now. And now that's what happened with me. So that's why I understand in Jeremiah 31:31 says, they should not teach anyone saying, here no God, there no God, because they all gonna know me from the least of them to the greatest of them. So I already understand that people that's for the creator is gonna catch on the way that they need to catch on. It's just that we all are sharing information the way we see it until we get to that point the way the creator allow us to see it the way that he wants us to see it. You know what I'm saying?
that's right. Like you said, we eventually gonna all get to the source. You know.
There you go. That's it. And there you go. That's the bottom line. So that's why I try to be like, I ask questions and see what another person is at, and see what cause we all it's each one teach one. Each one teach one, and we all gonna come to know. Because we all grow and we may do something maybe not similar to the same, no different than one hand do something different than the other hand. One hand has to hold while the other hand do. You know
Even
what I'm
when
saying? So
even when you make a mistake or do something wrong, it's it's all to make you better.
there you
Like they
go.
say, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. So it's
There
like
you
when
go.
you make a mistake, when you do the things that you're not supposed to do, you learn what to do and how to be better from doing
There you go.
going through bad times or being a bad person or being all of these different things. They help you learn and become better
Who
in
you are.
anyway. So there is no one has the answer for you. Only you, in the source, like I said, eventually you will guide yourself back to the source from which you came,
That's fact.
so that's what it's important, like you said, to always be open minded, to let yourself, take it easy, and don't worry too much about trying to be so I gotta get the answers, because you're gonna get the answers
Right.
come to you. You know what I mean?
Hey, that was it. I was thinking it's gonna come to you.
Hmm.
Right.
Yep.
Exactly.
Like as long as you're willing to ask the question, that means you already halfway there.
That's
So
fact.
looking, you halfway there to the answer. But yeah, man, appreciate you, bro.
I appreciate you,
Coming
brother. I'm
out.
glad you came on in. Like I said, I didn't know what I was gonna speak on tonight, but that was kind of on my mind about that Ichabod. Ichabod was the child that came, the child that came after Phineas. I say Phinehas, but Phineas, Eli's wife, after him and his brother passed, and then Eli passed, and then Phineas' wife, she had the baby. Wow! After she found out that her father-in-law and her husband died, and the ark has been taken, she died. She carried the baby right then, and she passed. And they had the baby, and they called the name Ichabod. And and then I know when the ark had been gone from Jerusalem or from the Hebrew Israelites, for 20 years when they made it back. So he was born the day that the ark was taken. When the ark came back, he was 20. And I know he was still of the priesthood. He was probably still of the priesthood. And they talked about the prophecy of Eli, which was a curse from in chapter 2 of First Samuel and chapter 3 of First Samuel. So, but then as we follow the timeline, we start to see certain things. So, as I was reading in chapter 22 yesterday about what Doeg had did, I didn't think about that until I laid down. After I got off, I laid down and I was like, man, didn't the Creator prophesy something against Eli and his household? And then I forgot. I forgot. Um, I've been trying to think of the names. One of the priests, the head priest, got killed by Doeg and the rest of them. And I'm thinking that Ichabod had to be a part of that family because of what the Creator said. So it was just I was trying to put two and two together. I still didn't find his name in there, but I was trying to put the two and two together to see what may have happened. But I still think he was a part of that, but I couldn't prove it. I like to prove when I'm talking about it, what I'm seeing. So I just wanted to go back to that point to see, and that's why it still was a curse of Eli. That was still a curse of Eli. But other than that, I am.
Like you said, all these are connected. So, they all happen as a cause and a, what I mean, effect in order for
There you go.
one source to have the outcome that was planned. You know what I mean? So even like all these things, they might seem like they went astray or went out of order, but everything is in divine order. You know
There
what I'm
you go. You're right. Because when I used to talk about when I get into Daniel chapter 2, when it talks about the Father has set up a kingdom. When I see that point, I think it's in chapter 2. Yeah, in chapter 2, I think around 45, 44, 45. The Father has set up a kingdom in all these kingdoms in the time of Babylon, the Medes and the Persian, the Greek and Roman Empire. He set up the kingdom first in Babylon, starting with Abraham, all the way down to what we get in the feet of that statue of the gold, of the silver and the clay. The kingdom was set up with Abraham then, all the way to where we at today. So the kingdom is set up. We just got to recognize it for what it is.
That's a fact, my brother, for real.
Yeah.
So building with each other, you know what I mean? You will come to see these things. So, yep. Man, looking forward to the next build. And
That's
like
true,
you said,
bro. You gonna be ready for Tuesday?
Tuesday, yeah, indeed. Always, you know what I mean? Monday, Tuesday, striving always to be in present. You know what I mean?
I got you. I updated
Oh, as far as
the
that though, you know what? I still haven't got down to do the I ain't download the NDA and all of that and send it back and everything. So yeah, I still gotta do all of that type
yeah.
thing.
I got it where on your email, when you go to your email and look at that, when you pull all the way up, you can actually print it out. You can actually print it out. So I put it in there where you can get it in email as well as in your Google Calendar. So I got it in there now where you can just go ahead and you can pull it out from there. That way you can get that, and then we're gonna build from that point on. So everybody that turns theirs in, that way they'll be the ones to be invited to come, invited to the class on the private class that is, and we're gonna build from that point. We're gonna make some things happen. We got a few people I've been talking to too. So yeah, that's on point, bro. And like I said, I'm glad to see you. Julia, are you there, my baby girl? I knew she was there for a moment when she first came in.
I know. Come on and tell us about this project you got going on, Julia. You up?
Hmm. Now, hey, bro, what she got going on is really private. When I say private,
It is.
hey,
Yes.
there you go, girl. How you doing?
I have been listening, Brother Michael. I just needed to hear that message that you just
About the curse of Eli?
yes, and his two sons. And God is serious. That makes me wow. God don't even play with his children.
Mm-mm.
So yeah, because what
What
I
did you
had
get out of it? Tell me your thoughts from what you seen and what you heard.
well from like what I said, what because Eli he kind of knew, I think, as you said, he did not deal, I think, strictly with his sons when he knew, what they were doing.
Mm-hmm.
I think he took it, just mild. and I think their death and all the things that happened to them could have been averted if Eli would have really deal with them harshly before they fall into the hands of the Lord. And then you mentioned about David, Saul, and that whole thing with David and Saul. When you touch about, I had never thought about that one, but that is true. It is jealousy. I think Saul, he rise against David because he already saw the anointing on David, and the people were already cheering um, David. Saul killed his what 1,000 and David 10,000. So all that evil had entered into Saul against David because of the spirit of jealousy.
Yep.
And jealousy is indeed like the sin of witchcraft.
Yep.
But also, Jonathan, look at what God did. Even in the midst of David's enemy, he raised the son of his enemy to look out for David. That was fascinating.
Yep. I don't know. I don't know if you. I was reading yesterday when he was fleeing, and when Jonathan was talking to David when they made their last pact. When they made their last pact, um, Jonathan actually said that you're going to be king, and I'm going to serve with you. I was shocked when I seen that.
Wow.
Did you know he said that?
I I didn't remember that one, but what a testimony. He was already testifying what would be. No, I don't remember hearing this one. Well, I probably missed it or skip over it or probably didn't get there in the story, but that is something else. The Spirit of God speaks through many means when the child of God is being pursued. Oh,
I think I'm right here at it. Hold on, let me see if I'm right here. I think it's right here at 1 Samuel chapter 23. 1 Samuel 23. I'm started verse 15. I'm
okay.
starting verse 15. I think it's right here at 23 and 16, 17, or 18. One of the other. I got it kind of written down. It says 15 said, and David saw that Saul was come out to seek his life, and David was in the wilderness of Ziph in a wood. In 16. And Jonathan, Saul's son, arose and went to David in the wood and strengthened his hand in Yah.
Wow.
17. And he said unto him, fear not, for the hand of Saul my father shall not find thee, and thou shalt be king. Here you go right here. And thou
Mhm.
shalt be king over Israel, and I shall be next unto thee. You see that? He telling him when he was supposed to be
Wow.
king.
Yeah.
He said, and thou shalt be king over Israel. Uh-oh. Hold on. 12 o'clock. It says, and thou shalt be king over Israel, and I shall be next unto thee. And that also Saul my father knoweth. And they too made a covenant before Yah, and David abode in the wood, and Jonathan went to his house. So he left at that time.
Mm.
Ain't that something? And he know that he's, but
Eh,
check this out. When you look at I read it, that was last week. Last week I read it, 1 Samuel chapter 20, verse 31. This is the reason why he wanted to kill David, not only because of jealousy, but this is his main reason. And the heading of this was, it was Jonathan learned Saul's intentions. And this is the real intention in 1 Samuel 20 and 31. It says, "For as long as the son of Jesse liveth upon the ground, thou shalt not be established." This is when um, Saul, he actually threw the javelin, at Jonathan. And he said, "For as long as the son of Jesse liveth upon the ground, thou shalt not be established, nor thy kingdom." This is the reason why David's kingdom is established today, because he was set up after Saul, but David's kingdom is still established. That's why I always talk about the kingdom, King David, 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 David. Everybody talks about David. Saul's kingdom is gone. And this is what Saul was trying to preserve. Said, "As long as the son of Jesse liveth upon the ground, thou shalt not be established, nor thy kingdom. Wherefore now send and fetch him unto me, for he shall surely die." That's the reason why. That's in 1 Samuel 20, verse 31. But over here is where in 23, verse 17, it says, "And he said unto him, Fear not, for the hand of Saul my father shall not find thee. And thou shalt be king over Israel, and I shall be next unto thee. And that also Saul my father knoweth." And they two made a covenant before Yah, and David abode in the woods, and Jonathan went to his house. And that right there is the key. Well, I'm saying I like to say keys, but the key of a lot of things. But Jonathan mainly said it himself. You're gonna be king. Thou should be king, and I'm gonna be with you. I'll be under you. Jonathan said it for himself. "And thou shalt be king over Israel." He might didn't care nothing about that anyway. I just like living a good life. I like just being free, living good. Don't make no sense. I don't have to be in charge. Some people don't have to be in charge. You got a lot of people, "I want to be king. I'm the king. I'm this and that." Just say, "I am." You don't have to be all that. Just be the good, just be the people, be the person you are, and do what you do. If you can help people, there you go. You the king of who you are. So what you thought about that, Miss Julia? Miss Lady, are you there? Well, I'm glad you shared that point of view of where you was at, where we were. I'm glad my boy G1 came back in, share some info. And let's hope we all get information, because we all got to grow in this knowledge and see this is history. What we're reading right here is history coming to where we're coming to know now. And the reason why David's in the place he's in, how come the things has happened in time past the way they happen, and to use them for our examples. That's the key. Use these things for our example. And by them being our example, we can see clearly. Now, other than that, I am that Mikael that in Daniel chapter 12, verses 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that's me. Showing the holy people who they're really supposed to be. Waking them out of their dead beds, which is really in their heads. For all of you who live in the new, this is for you. I'm the same Mikael in Revelations 12, battling that red dragon where Satan dwell, who deceiveth the whole world but prevaileth not, because the horn is blown without a doubt. This was prophesied for you to see that Mikael is really me. And we're going to smile our way out, and then we're going to get the formalities on how people can get in contact with us. I'm just glad that my peeps came in tonight, Miss Julia, and also my man G1, and anybody else that came in to watch on the sideline or just came in just to see and conversate with where they could, where they are. Other than that, Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Baruch Shekebo Vakuto
Sabbath. Hallelujah. Hear, O Israel, Yah our Father is one Father. Blessed be thy glorious kingdom forever and ever. Hallelujah. Thank you, Father, for the reading of your word. Thank you for your spirit, your word, and the gathering of us as a people. In your holy word and spirit and all things we pray. Hallelujah. 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 Other than that, I'd like to thank everybody for coming. And also, if you'd like to get in contact with me, you can always call or text me at 770-572-5315. That's 770-572-5315. Or you can email me at lkhyym@gmail.com. That's lkhyym@gmail.com. You can also check me out on X, formerly known as Twitter, as well as my Facebook, my YouTube, and my X, formerly known as Twitter, or at JuicePro33. That's all together. That's JUICEPRO33 all together. Please like, subscribe, and share. You can also catch me on Instagram and TikTok. Excuse me, Instagram and TikTok under LKHYYM. That's LKHYYM at Gmail. LKHYYM underscore the juice. LKHYYM underscore the juice on TikTok and also Instagram. LKHYYM underscore JUICTHEJUICE. That's after the underscore. And also my other TikTok is Michael the Juice Harris, which is MI apostrophe. Oh, these what's called boy, they must have me. Finally got rid of these though. 2 tabs of order. Finally got rid of those, but these. Take antibiotics. I gotta take some more about antibiotics.
Yo, bro, when you gonna post the album up for the album you got the gold record for? I need to hear that, son.
If you go into my like go to YouTube or if you go into any of my posts, you'll see you'll see the links. You'll see the links with my with the heading. You got one called the end, one is the end, one is repent, one is keep it to yourself. Another one is keep it to yourself, the end, repent, fast and pray. I got a few more as well. One I got called the juice. I got another one called FOC. But I'm glad you like them though, bro.
Yo, and and that was the group these songs you did when you was with that group?
No, those are my songs. The ones that I did in the group. What I'm gonna do is one day what I'm gonna do, matter of fact, I'm gonna email them to you. I'm not email them. Yeah, email and text them to you. That's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah, because I want to you got videos too, like the
The
old
video, they're on
like
YouTube.
I
They're
need
on YouTube.
old school hip hop videos and stuff. Like, yeah,
When
yeah,
I was in Europe. Yep,
yeah,
those ones
man.
I
I
got in Europe. I'm gonna
Euro
email them to
style.
you.
I see that Euro style you had. Like, yeah,
That's it. I'm definitely gonna email them to him. One day I might put them and just put one or two in my post. When I'm talking, matter of fact, when I talk about my past, I'm gonna put them in the post. That
yeah.
way they'll
I
be in the
got
post.
like it sounds interesting, man. I'm interested in seeing like that era in your time. Yeah,
You know what? I'm gonna upload that because they they erased erased all my other stuff. So the ones that I got uploaded, I got those in there. So all I gotta do is
yeah.
re-upload with the
Amazing
same because I got the
record,
same.
man, son. You got a gold plaque for this? Like, wow.
You
Yeah,
gonna see it. You gonna see it. Matter
yeah.
of fact,
That's what I'm saying,
I'm
man.
gonna start on that this week. This week I'm gonna post those up. I'll post the ones up about my story.
You
I'm gonna post
literally
the ones
got a
up about my
whole fan
story, and the
base
ones
that
that my story gonna have the in the post. You're gonna see
the links that you can just pull them up.
So you got fans all throughout Europe that just be like, got your album and all of that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Now,
Amazing.
that's something though, man. I don't look at it like that, but
Yeah.
it was
Brother, you is a
one thing
yeah.
I can say, it was beautiful.
And your brothers, the brothers that was in this group with you, how many was it? How many?
It was just mainly first. It started off. The name of the group is Imperial. I'm glad you asked me about it. I'm glad I can talk about it while I'm telling all my formalities and stuff. Um, Matter of fact, let me finish that. I'm gonna tell you everything about it in a few seconds.
All right.
So I think I was at Facebook. My Facebook is Michael the Juice Harris, Mikael space Harris, shall I say, MI apostrophe CHAEL space HARRIS. That's my Facebook. And for my full version, which is the um long version, full version of what we just did, is on YouTube under video. That's the full video, as well as on Patreon and Rumble.com. Patreon.com/LKHYYM and Rumble.com/LKHYYM. And how to get back in contact with us before I share the rest of the story, which I hope y'all stay to listen. Um, you can come catch us like we did tonight. Fight Fire with Truth, which is open conversation, what we're having tonight. Open conversation. That's every night after Sunday at 9 p.m. Eastern time. And Mikael's Knowledge of Truth is just the night after Monday at 9 p.m. Eastern time. That's Mikael's Knowledge of Truth. That's 9 p.m. Monday. And now we're doing, for those who have, once you connect with me and I send you information, you have to sign the NDA, and that's on Tuesdays at 6 p.m. This is called Introductory to Solving Passive Knowledge. Once you sign that information, we're going to share with you how to become, I just say, how to get in your sovereign status and help yourself in many different ways. And that's on Tuesdays at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. And on the Sabbath day, we're here at 12 p.m. Eastern Time, which is 12 noon Eastern Time on the Sabbath. Other than that, you can always connect back with us. But as my brother G1 was just sharing a few moments ago, I have a few a few videos that I shared about my story. The story when I was in Europe, the story the things I've been through, my spiritual awakening, my redemption. I'm going to start uploading those next week or this week now. I'm gonna start uploading those this week, and then in the post, you're gonna be able to see Imperial. You're gonna see. I'm gonna let you know what you're gonna be able to see. Imperial. The first single we sold was a quarter of our first single, which is called Benny Beatty Beatsy, which means I came, I saw, I conquered. And this is what I went, and I come to realize once you, without, if anybody get time, sit back and look over your life. Sit back and look over your life. And when you sit back and just think about how your life is, where you are from where you came from, and just strategically just look over your life and see how you came and look at your path. Look at your life path and see where you at today compared to where you came from. Julia, you got a lot you going through right now, and I'm glad to be a part of it. And same with you, G1. But Julia, she got a lot of stuff she's going through right now, and she's making history. I know that for a fact. But sit back, look over your life, and you'll see where you're going, or you can almost understand where you're going from where you are. When I left Detroit and went to Europe, I didn't know. All I knew, my sister invited me to come over there. I didn't know my road that I was going through where I was going, but I was going through hell with my oldest girl's mother, and I was just going through things here. Sister invited me to come to Europe. Went to Europe. I felt free, relieved. End up getting with a young lady there, who ended up having my two boys. But went there, made a group. That's gonna be this for that. I'm just gonna say this. I shared some of the story. I'm a load those up. Um, But then I ended up getting with Imperial a year later, and I got with Imperial from June of '94 to June of '95. We ended up selling our first single called Beanie Beanie Beastie, which means I came, I saw, I conquered. And I was the hype man, choreographer, rapper, and dancer at that time. After that, and after we got a gold CD, we did our first video, then got a gold CD, and then or we got the gold CD and then got the video. But that was in October. Yeah, we got the gold CD first, then we got the video. We did the video in October. I went to I had a spiritual situation happen just before the video. Um, After that, throughout that year, from June of '94 to June of '95, we ended up like I said, sell the first single, put out three singles, three videos before we put out our first album. Sold $250,000 by first single. I became the male vocalist on the second single. And the male vocalist on the third single, we got a new female vocalist for the second and third, because both of us the same on the second and third single. And in that time, a lot happened. Jealousy, like this situation with David and Saul, same thing. I'm like David. I'm just innocent in the whole situation. I'm doing my thing. People are getting jealous of me. So, hey, next week, man, let's have a conversation on that. G.
Yeah, that sounds fire, bro. I
Yeah, we
definitely
can have a ask me questions. We can talk. That'd be a good conversation next week, because if you got any questions you want to ask, or matter of fact, I'm gonna put up what I can throughout the week. You can look at that.
Yeah, that way I can have more questions. Yeah.
There you go, bro. That'll be a good conversation for next week. Y'all gotta excuse me, I'm itching. I'm like, what's going on? I love these. I'm just all of a sudden itching a lot right now. I mean, itching most throughout the week. I done finished all these, whatever these is, and whatever. I can't say these names. I done finished this one up. But the antibiotics, I ain't take none of these today. I need to take some. Baby, can you bring me a glass of water? I ain't took none of these. I ain't took nothing today. I might took one this morning because of the finger. Can you bring some water, baby? I don't think I don't take none of these today. I'm finished. I might have took one of them because that one's gone. The one to take the two, but I just got this left. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, the one the two in the pack. I finished that one. You know these things better than I do. No, I don't take no medicine. But yeah, that'll be on point next week, though, bro. Next Sunday, that we're gonna do. It's gonna be an open conversation, and you can have a conversation about my history or whatever. That'll be a good one, man. I love to talk about that, just to see what questions coming from, and we can talk about. And then what I'm gonna do is, I'm not only gonna pull them up. I'm gonna send you the videos. I'm gonna text them to you and email them to you. Okay.
Bet. Yeah, I can't wait to go over this, bro. Yeah.
Baby. Look at this. Now you know that's gone. These right here.
Why do you keep taking these?
Because they take them. I don't know. So they take two per day. Well,
It's pain pills.
Well,
You ain't in pain.
well, not really. But I'm itching right now. That's the antibiotics.
Yeah.
Okay. I think I took one of them
Both
today.
of these every day. Take one tablet early for 4 times daily for 7 days. You're supposed to bend down for this.
Well, about
Did you take the other ones up?
I just been taking them and the other ones. Them the only ones I've been taking.
Oh,
Ibuprofen. I ain't even take them.
Okay, this is no
You see my doctor, y'all. See.
no more pain pills.
Thank you, man. I ain't got to. I ain't been.
Not even
Not really. Not really.
And these are weak anyway. You wouldn't been able to.
Oh, really? Well, shoot, I've been doing pretty good with me, though. I'm taking 2 of them.
That's probably all you need.
Well, I don't know. I just know I'm itching. I don't know. It might be it's because I'm not taking them. I don't know. Because I am, maybe so. Well, it is what it is. I'm just glad to get this baby together. But yeah, man, that's gonna be good next week. That's gonna be nice. I'm looking forward to that. And I'm gonna send you those this week too. Send you them the videos and stuff. And if anybody like to know more, you can go to YouTube, pull up Imperial, Imperio, and 3 songs that I did. There's other ones that they make. Imperial's it was like a franchise. So, but I did 3 songs. If you can remember, Veni Vidi Vici, which mean I came, I saw, I conquered. And the video is going like when it come on, da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da, that's how it's gonna sound. I would pull it up here, but that's how it's gonna sound. And you're gonna see like soldiers, like the Roman soldiers. That's how I know that the creator sent me through this way to let me understand. Cause when I first got with the group, all I knew we was doing stuff that was about the Bible. I didn't know too much about it. I just knew it was about the Bible and Rome. It was about Rome. Not knowing until after I got out the group, going through my spiritual awakening, that I was working for the enemy, meaning I was up Rome, which is actually in the end of the video. I'm not going to spoil it. I'm not going to spoil the end of the video because I'll tell you Veni Vini Vici. Then after that, I did Quo Vadis. Quovadis. Quo Vadis. That's
That's
my,
crazy. Ain't that the
huh?
haircut? Like the Quo Vadis? Ain't that a haircut?
I heard a haircut. Yeah, I think I heard the haircut, a hat, and all I know is Quo Vadis mean where do you go? That's all I knew. But
Like
that was the name of my second single. And
Vadis.
and the third one was Nostra Cupa. That's the third single. But you'll see 3 videos, and we did live. We did um um Quo Vadis, we did live one time. This is just like now this was like Dancing with the Stars or American Idol. It was like 28 different groups. We was on live TV nationwide. They had to call in for votes. We placed 4 times out of 28 different groups. We placed first, second, and third 4 times. Out of first, second, and third, we placed 4 times out of 28 different groups. And I'm gonna tell you, it was man. All I can say is I was a star across seas in Europe. I'm not saying I was big, especially in Austria. In Austria. But I don't brag or nothing like
Wow.
that. I'm thankful for the time I had and what I went through. That was back in 95, 94, and 95. But
Wow.
it was beautiful when I was there. And didn't think I was going to leave until I went through my spiritual awakening. And when I went through my spiritual awakening, here I am today. So I've come to learn a lot, like I say, in that time. But I would love to get that information. I always thought about writing a book. One of my boys, little Mike, he told me, man, you ought to write a book. I would like to write a book about my life. It'd be interesting, really.
Yeah, I think that's soon too. Like you said, a book eventually. Right. With a
Yeah,
message.
man.
Write the message that you always tell the story into a book form. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, bro. That would be something. It'll happen when it happens, because I'm ready for it when the time comes. I want to make sure, I want to make sure I have my head right, have everything, and some friends around and what have you, and but it's been a life. It's been a life, and I'm thankful. And I'm telling you, what I come to know and the things I've seen and what I've come to understand is something. Even the people that's around me, Julia, and the people that's around her, even my baby. And the spirit told me that the woman you're gonna meet her in Detroit, and she's gonna be with you. All this got a part. It's all this has a part in the life. You know what I'm saying?
Wait. You said how'd you find out about your queen? How'd you know she was gonna like
I,
tell me what the
when I was in Atlanta, in August of 2014, it's always something happened right after my Earth Day. When I was in Atlanta, it was a sister here in Detroit. I knew her from Atlanta, but she was in Detroit at the time. Her name was Akashi, right? She's a tall girl, tall, big girl. We was cool. I knew a lot of people. So me and her was talking. She was in Detroit, and she was like, Juice. Everybody called me Juice. Man, you ought to be here in Detroit. They need your water up here. They didn't have alkaline water at the time. And this was like I said, this was back in 2014, and I was already coming up here visiting since 2007, 2009, a few times. But matter of fact, me and a couple of brothers from Marcus Garvey from in I UNIA. We came up here in 2009 for a situation when we seen Dr. Sabi. Dr. Sabi was here, and we came up for the Marcus Garvey not Marcus Garvey. Yeah, Marcus Garvey situation. We came up for that, and I was coming back and forth between time at that time, just coming to visit. So this is 2014, and this girl named Akashi was here in Detroit, and she said, well, you ought to come up, they need your alkaline water up in Detroit. I said, okay, well, I'll think on it, because she did something, I'm gonna say it like that, I'm gonna say a reading, but she did something to make me understand of the woman I was with at that time when I was in Atlanta, when I was just beginning to know this sister named Tanisha. And she said, she kind of told me that we was gonna get together, and me and her ended up getting together. Matter of fact, she was the one that had my last child before he passed 10 days later after being born. But she told me about that. So when she told me about coming to Detroit, I said, well, I'll think on it. I always wait for confirmation. I have to wait for I get confirmation from the creator to find out before I make a move. That was in August. The end around the middle of the end of October, the beginning of November of 2014, I had like a place. Y'all may have seen me dancing in my place with a group. So me and some brothers was over there. We was playing cards and stuff one night, and this brother named Netta, he was in the spirit. He said, how many children do you have? I said, huh? He said, how many children? I said, I got six. I got six children. He said, how many girls do you have? I said, I got three. He said, where are they? I said, I got two in Detroit. I got one in California. He said, how old are they? I said, my two oldest is in Detroit and my youngest is in California. And he said, even that's in the spirit. He was just in the spirit, he was talking to me. He was like, and I understood what he was, because I've been there. I was in that when I was first going through so I understood where he was. Other people didn't understand him because they not in the understanding of a spiritual mindset. So they just looking at him like, oh, he going crazy or this and that. But I understood, because people don't realize you're in a different dimension when your mind is in a spiritual place, a spiritual aspect. You're in a whole different dimension. No different than a person that's going through something. They hearing voices. They are in a different, their mind is in a different dimension compared to where we are. Those voices is going on right now. We just can't hear them. It all depends on what part of your mind is open to hear these different things. And I just had that understanding. So the brother, he was spiritually, he was saying, how many children do you have? I told him I have six. How many girls do you have? I said, I have three. I said, my oldest is in Detroit. My youngest is in California. He said, not the girl. Your youngest needs you. They said, wait, hold. Your youngest, she gonna be all right. Your oldest girls, they need you. And the woman you're gonna meet her in Detroit, and she gonna be with you. And then he said the same thing that was told to me before, God got big plans for you. But I don't really say that much point because it was said to me 20 years ago before it came back to me when I was in Detroit in 2018 that another brother told me God got big plans for you. That was in 2018. And that was 20 years before when I first heard it, when it first told me in a vision. I was in a vision when that was told to me the first time. The second time is when he told me in the spirit. The third time it was told to me physically by a brother that I knew I used to dance with when I was here in Detroit. He actually told me physically that he had to tell me something. And when he saw me, he told me, God told me he got big plans for you 3 times. So that's 3 times that was said to me in the vision, spiritually, and physically. So I know that the things I'm doing now is the Creator's will by waking up people and telling them the truth. Not trying to be forceful, just sharing it with the best I can, just to let them know according to what the books say, according to what I've come to know, and just sharing it as I do. That's how come I know when I was with Imperial, I didn't know then, but after I got out of Imperial from that 1 year, from June of 94 to June of 95, I was like, I was with that group for a reason. I didn't know why, but I knew. I said, man, it was for a reason. It was for a reason. I didn't know I was with that group for 1 full year for a reason. But and that after my spiritual awakening, I just been growing daily, yearly, to know what I know today. So everything is a stepping stone, and everything prophecy doesn't happen like that. Prophecy happen in linear times. As time go on, things start to unfold and as we start to see, we start to understand, and the more we understand, we grow to know. You good with me, my bro?
Yeah, that's deep, bro. Yo,
For
I'm still
real.
thinking about that Imperial too, man. Yo, you probably still getting money coming from that stuff, do you?
Not me. The producer did, but not me. Not me. That's the whole point about it. They, I could say I got played, but really it was his music. I was just mainly working by being the dancer and choreographer. I was mainly being a dancer and choreographer, so I was getting paid by every time I went on the road.
Nice. Wow.
But I'm telling you, it was beautiful.
You still in tune with any of them?
Um, I used to be when I used to have the number. One time I had all my stuff. Man, it's a long story. I lost information because somebody took my stuff and, ooh man. But I actually called them one time, and they didn't speak English. But when I called, I ended up getting in contact with the producer's father. And when I called them, they were like, Michael, this is Michael. The father he was happy to hear from me. And I don't know. I used to when I was calling, I forgot how to call her. It's been so long ago. I found out how to call and get in contact with them. And then when I called them, connect with them, and they were just happy to hear from me. But it's a long story. When we go through the story, I'm gonna
Yeah,
break
yeah, yeah.
down the
We'll say that
information.
for the save that one for the
Oh
story.
yeah, I'm gonna break down information on how I got out the group and jealousy. The main thing what we talking tonight about David and Saul. Jealousy is a strong jealousy is something, y'all, for real. It's something. But man, I got a lot to share with you on that point though, for
Yeah,
real.
you know what? A lot of groups go out like that too, man. You know they get so big and then they tear apart because of
Jealousy.
and all these different things, ego and just like you said.
Yeah, bro. Yep.
Well, yo, bro, I ain't gonna keep you up, man. I know you, like you said, you dealing with a
Yeah,
lot.
man. Man, you making me think though. You bringing smiles to my face and making me think back.
Ah, that's good, man. I'm glad you know that was a good time. It sounds like so. Yeah,
It was beautiful, bro. When I say beautiful, I didn't want to come home. When I said I didn't want to come home, if it weren't for me going through my spiritual awakening, I'd have got married.
yo, and then I know you got to be proud. Just to know that you got like achievements, like a gold record, and just
Yeah, I mean, I feel good behind it.
yeah, man, that's got to be something to make you feel proud inside. Like,
Yeah,
and you don't even brag about it. You just kind of keep it.
yeah.
Most
It's
people don't
it's
even.
not
You
about that.
know,
I'm not that type of person. But you know something, bro? It just feels good to know. And you know what I realized? And even it's even scripture. Even though that's the past, it's more coming. Especially what me and my wife come to know, and what we're helping people with. That's nothing compared to what's coming.
well, yeah,
Oh,
that's how you know the life is gonna be a great one when you have just like when that's just a small thing. Some people whole life is based off of making a hit record and all of that. But like you said, when that's just one thing in your whole history of many things, you know what I mean?
there
That's
you
just
go,
like
bro.
even Miller, yeah.
That's on point.
That's how you know that's a life well lived. You know what I mean? When you did it.
Yeah, yeah. And then you know the purpose behind it once you find out your purpose. And I think I asked that question. I think I had that. I think about 2 weeks ago. I said, "What's your purpose?" And then the next day I came up with, "Our purpose is the kingdom." And I think that was last week. I think we did that last week. But
Right.
Yeah, man. It's just that once you come know, it's a total different story. And then it's something when you try to, and I'm always been the one try to help our people and show and share information for our people to know a little bit more. But it's just up to us to want to grow and know more.
Well, yeah, man, life is for living. So just, and in that time, you just do your best, you know? So, like,
Hmm.
no matter where you was at or what you were doing, you just
I'm
did
gonna step out there, man. I'm glad you said something.
live
Hey,
the.
hey, have you been outside? You know if it's a blood moon tonight? Supposed to be tonight?
Yeah, it was today. It was the total eclipse. The
You
blood.
seen it?
I didn't. It wasn't red in my where I how I saw it, but like, I don't know what time it was supposed to go red, but like, yeah, I was out and I took a few pictures of the full moon. Yeah, I was outside. I don't know if the time, the exact total lunar eclipse was supposed to be, but
Yeah,
um,
I hear you.
yeah, I
I'm
was.
gonna go out there in a few minutes and try to look up and see. As soon as we get off here, I'm gonna go up and look. But yeah, man, I'm looking forward to having this conversation next week. Now, yeah,
Yeah,
you get me hyped.
bro. Real, bro. Like I can't wait to hear the music and all of that. So yeah,
Yeah, I'm saying that to you. And then that way you can feed off that and ask questions.
yeah, because I know it's gonna raise a lot of questions. It's gonna make me, like I said, just think and just it's probably gonna turn me into some more information that I ain't even, you know what I mean?
Yeah, bro, I'm telling you. See, that's what life is about. The more we live, the more we know. Even through other people, we grow through other people' experiences. You know.
Yeah, man, I'm gonna be getting my passport pretty soon, so
There you go, bro. For real.
hopefully I could just get up out and go maybe like you said, go live abroad for a little bit and just
Bruh, once you get a chance outside of the United States, anywhere, I ain't gonna say anywhere, but almost anywhere. God just know where I went. But if you get a chance to get outside the United States, you're gonna see. I'm gonna tell. I almost didn't want to come back home, bro. If it wasn't for me going through my spiritual awakening, I would not be here. And matter of
yeah, I
fact,
was seeing somebody say something like it was like a CIA agent that was talking about, yo, man, if you can't leave the United States before 2030, like it's gonna be some stuff going down, like where they really is not gonna be, like this place is gonna be on some other stuff. But yeah, so like you said, we might even need to just be on a whole different type vibe. Like you said,
mhm.
here it
you,
is.
you know what I always do? I always do this. I wait for the creator to get me to make the move because when I made my move to Germany, I didn't realize it wasn't me, it was the creator giving me the way to make the move. I made the move because, when I did, when it was time for me to come back, when I went through my spiritual awakening, it was told to me some things that I didn't know, but I was supposed to make another move, not understanding. And the move I was making, I didn't understand at the time, but I know wherever I'm at, I'm where I'm supposed to be.
Yep.
So when that time come with all these, a lot of stuff they could say that was going on because there's a lot of things that these Caucasians thought they was going to do that it turned into our favor. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of things that they thought that they was going to try to get rid of and try to do, and no different than the crack they put in our neighborhoods. It did its damage, but it turned back on them as well. A
Yep.
lot of stuff that they
Well,
did thinking they was doing to us, it always turned back on them as well.
nah, that's a fact. But I went to a movie. I went to one of these movie screenings that's for a movie that don't come out till 2026, and I had to sign an NDA when I went to go see the movie. And it's like if I speak anything about this movie, they could charge me $50,000. I
Ooh,
talk about what I saw because right now we on record it anyway.
I
But
got you.
yeah, yeah, in this movie, man, it was dealing with some very deep shit. And it was and what I can say in the beginning of the movie, it said this is based on a true story that happens in the future.
Mm,
Yeah, so it's basically saying this is a true story, but it haven't happened yet because it's based on in the future. Yeah, so and then it, and so yeah, man. So it's just like, and then what I just told you about what this dude was saying about 2030 is make me really think that they really already, because when they tell you something in a movie, we already said before that they be talking about this stuff, what, 5 to 10 years. Sometimes they is dropping the jewel. They already knowing where they want to go with it.
It's because they already
And
have a
notice how I
plan.
just said 5 to 10 years. And what did I just say? It's 2025. And they talk, the man said before 2030, which is
Right.
5 years. And this movie don't come out until I don't know what time in 2026, but it don't come out until 2026. Yeah, so it could be the beginning of the year, the middle of the year, the end of the
Right. But you
year.
do know that they have plans. When I say they, the system have plans 20 to 30 to 50 years ahead before it even comes out.
Yeah, they be on a 10-year plan. They be like, yeah, we want to do this, achieve this in the next 5, 10 years, 20 years. They don't just live day to day. They, like you said, they have it planned
Ahead of time.
5-year, 10-year agenda of what they want to achieve by so and so and so and so and so and so. Even if they fall behind a couple years, they still stay on track. You get what I'm saying? Even
To
if
try
they
to make things happen.
Yeah, so they stay continuing daily on their agenda of trying to achieve whatever it is, man. So it's just I don't know, it's a lot to think about with that. And then, it's just the state of how things is just kind of seem more deteriorating than they getting better. Is in a lot of ways around and even in Canada you hear like, I was getting into some of the even how with the private classes I was doing some research into Canada and just they even forming groups up there because they feel like they getting overran with all of the different groups that's coming there and flooding the areas from over and different from foreign areas and
Hmm.
whole culture, so that in the next 10, 20, 30 years the whole face of these places is going to look like different compared to where they grew up and how we grew. These places are going to be different, in the next 20, 30, 40 years. These places are going to, the culture and everything and the faces going to look a lot different. you
Hmm.
know? So people is trying to figure out what to do about it and how to get free from a lot of things, that a lot of the downfall, the pitfalls of this, because the rich keep getting richer. They buying more yachts, they getting rich more. You know what I mean? So they don't have any intentions on fixing anything because they actually getting power out of controlling it like this and leaving it this way. You know what I'm saying? So it doesn't really seem like things gonna get better in a certain sense. And even though like individual small pockets of circles like ours, we might be able to get free and get better, but overall it's like it's gonna be a problem overall everywhere. For a lot of people it's gonna get a lot harder, um especially without them having no money or no knowledge and understanding on how, and not know, they not in tune with the creator and the source.
Hmm. Hmm.
Very hard times, you know what I mean? So it's just like knowing that, and like I said, what I just seen in this movie and hearing all types of things. And so like you said, this might be my, like you said, preparation to make other moves. Like you said, just getting in tune to get up, be able to get in time to get free
Yeah,
out of here at the right time. You know what I mean? Because like everything is in timing, like you said,
that's it.
in its due time.
Yeah, just mainly stay.
How
My main thing is stay prayed up.
when
Ask the Creator to keep leading and guiding you. That way, when you know when the time comes, you'll know when to move. You know what to make. You know the Father's gonna open up a door, and we just gotta be like, okay, should I make this move or should I not? And I'll quit. I'll ask Creator, should I make this move? Should I not? Because that's how I came back to Detroit. When the sister told me first in August. And then he told me, well, your daughters need me. That was my day. Okay, my daughters need me. Gotta head back to Detroit. So and then he said the woman you're gonna meet, she gonna be with you. Woman you're gonna meet in Detroit and she's gonna be with you. I said, okay, heading to Detroit. So that was my confirmation on that from the talk in 2012. I mean, the talk in August when I talked in 2014. She told me first, Akashi told me I need to be in Detroit. I said, okay, I'll think on it. I'll check on it. The confirmation was when, so that's what I look at. I look up the creator give me confirmation when I presented something, I let it sink. And I'm like, okay, creator, if this is what you want me to do, allow me to know, or you know, open the doors and let me find out what I need to know, whatever.
But
And
not
then
that's why it's important to take time to, like, not be distracted and think quietly. Be in a place and space of peace, and sometimes that way you can hear greater in you, because these, the source is already inside you.
yep,
Signs, the universe give you all these signs. Like when I do see the movie, and matter of fact, I got another free screening movie I get to go see Tuesday. And it's for, I can say this because they already got the trailer out, because the movie don't come out until November. But I'm gonna get to see it early, and I haven't seen it yet, and I ain't signed the NDA, so I can't say I've seen the trailer for the movie. It's on YouTube too. Look it up, for The Running Man. Remember The Running Man with Arnold Schwarzenegger?
yeah,
Well, they redoing it, and it's coming out in November. But the trailer is already up now. But I'm gonna get a chance to see it Tuesday before it comes out in November. And the trailer I watched, I just told you the movie I did sign the NDA for, and how they keep coming with the same thing. But in the new Running Man, remember how he was in a stadium, and he had to get outside the stadium.
right,
And man, they changed the thing to where he's out in the city. He's in an open city, and the whole city is chasing, and he got to survive through the city, and they trying to kill him. And if he can get out this, it's like Hunger Games type thing where it's like, yo, you want to save your family and get out of this situation. If you play the Running Man game, and you can make it out before anybody, you get rewarded so much in the trailer. It's on YouTube if you want to look up the
yeah.
trailer.
I think I didn't I've seen it, but I didn't see it. I didn't see the trailer, but I seen the like the picture
You
of
saw
it.
the old one.
No, I mean no, I think it was the just the picture of just saying the Running Man, but I didn't I know they made a new one already, but I think this will be the third Running
This will
Man
be the
after.
third one. Yeah, not yeah, because you're right. They just made the Running Man. I'm like, yo, didn't they just remake the Running Man already?
Yep.
But
Yeah, I
yeah,
remember
this is the
that one. I
third
think
one.
this will be the third one coming out.
Yeah, yeah. So this will be the third one that they made, and it's a little bit different. Like I said, I can tell you that because the trailer's already revealed.
Right.
See it in full, but the fact that they keep showing the signs, because remember, we just said 5 to 10 years, and what they want to, a lot of it is predictive programming as well. You know what I mean? So
Mm-hmm.
they're showing you the way they want the future to look and how they want it to go. You know what I mean? And like I said, it only looks like it's getting harder for the average man, and with the things they're gonna have people going through just to, in those situations they want the whole world living under. You know what I mean? And especially in these big cities, and
Exactly.
yeah.
Exactly.
Mm. Yeah, so and these are signs, like I said, that eventually, if you pay attention, like you said, you spend time on just undistracted from other people's thoughts, and you don't force nothing. Because a lot of times you try to get so much stuff done and force things that you can maybe make a move that was unnecessary,
Yep.
or wasn't at the right time.
There you go.
So like you said, I'm been trying to slow down, even though I know it's like so many things that I got going on, and I want to get taken care of, that I have to not make sure that like you say, haste makes waste.
Mm-hmm. And you know what? I used to be like that, bro. I used to be trying to like, "No, I'm gonna get this done, get this done." And I just realized everything the Craig gonna let it happen in this time.
Right, right. And that's something I was listening to Alan Watts. I don't know if you ever listen to Alan Watts. He's a like a philosopher and a speaker, but he's an old school dude, and it's like old videos and stuff like that. But like the way he subscribes to a lot of Buddhist theory, and he's a European guy or whatever like that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I mean, knowledge come in many different forms.
I'm just letting you character who would he look like and all of that. But like his wisdom is number one. You sit back and listen to some Alan Watts, bro. Like, but yeah, he had one I was checking out and he just said to let it go. You know, it's a lot of people are chasing, trying to be this or be that. And sometimes you just gotta let it go and just live life like
there
how
you go.
you know you just make the best of what you live. You know, life is just for living. When you strip away all of these things and title and money and just and leave it to raw life is about living it and just doing your best with wherever you at the time. Fate, we don't know what fate is gonna always, no matter how much you try to reach a certain level, you could crash in a plane, you know what I mean, or anything can happen. Like, so it's like you can only so much ahead and want to, you know what I mean? So it's just like at the end of the day, you gotta like be at peace with what you have, who you are.
That's right.
Just try not to force nothing. And yeah, you're gonna strive to keep getting better, and because you always doing your best. But like some people just like, that feel like if they're not always doing something, they're not being productive.
Exactly. Yep.
That's the way society kind of pushes us to think. If you're not doing this, not 24-second micromanaging every single second and minute of your life, you are like wasting time. But sometimes, about sitting back quiet and not doing nothing. So, and that's the way you get the answers of knowing what to do next.
Yep. That's true. It's like meditating.
Exactly. You know what I mean? Staying prayed up and tuned in tune with stuff, you know? But yeah, man, it's been great talking with you, man. I ain't gonna keep you up long or whatever like that. It's getting late. So go ahead.
Yeah, bro. Man, I appreciate it. I'm gonna be sending you that information. It won't be tonight, but I'm gonna be sending you through that information throughout the week.
Yeah, no,
And
you all week, bro. Like
huh,
all week, you got all week. Anytime, just
I
reach.
got you, bro. Well, other than that, I'd like to thank everybody for coming. Julia, my brother G1, and we did the formalities and everything. And I think right now we're looking at 2 hours and 29 minutes so far. So other than that, I'd like to thank everybody for their time, your patience, your listening ear, your seeing eye. Love you, G. Love you, Julia.
You too, bro.
All right, bro. I'm see y'all in a minute. Peace.